virtually than speaking live. Of course, speaking live, we want to know the audience. So when you're speaking to, or someone asks you to speak, the first thing you want to ask is, well, who's going to be my audience? You know, don't forget to do that. You don't want to wind up speaking to the wrong group that are not your people just to be speaking. You know, you want to make sure that you're speaking to the right audience. You also want to have another benefit of being virtual is it's easier to get people's attention. When you're up on stage, you can see the whole view of the room, but here I feel like I can reach out and touch you. You know, it's more limited space. You're not scanning the room, because that's one of the big things when you're speaking live is they teach you is to scan the room. So on here, you just got to scan the screen. Super, super easy. So I feel like we get to have more intimate conversations. Anybody feel that? Yeah, you do. And so connection is a lot easier. And I want you to take advantage of that. Give people a chance to get to know you, make them feel familiar with you. Last but not least is appearance. Those are the 3 things for live events. Appearance. Remember that you want to have a professional appearance. I think we have enough calls during the week with each other and other people where we don't necessarily, we can put on a t-shirt and I can be Miss Captain America or Wonder Woman or whatever I want to be during that time. But when you teach a class or when you're doing something that is an event that's virtual, you really want to show up in your best appearance. Ladies, wearing jewelry. Does anybody know what that does? You can unmute yourself and talk. Can we get everybody unmuted?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the jewelry issue also when I do the style information.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
It can be distracting if it's not, you know, if it's too glittery, maybe it could be distracting. Okay.
Too glittery can be distracting. I agree with that. Can somebody say what else it does?
It interferes with your microphone.
It can. Mm-hmm. There's some positives to this too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I'm definitely one for wearing it, and there's a reason that I do it.
Well, how many of us are attracted to shiny objects?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, obviously you want to curate it appropriately for yourself, but at the same time, if you wear, like Tonya, your necklace is amazing. A bold statement, something like that can really catch people's attention and want them to know you a little bit more, because who wears a big bold necklace like that? It's awesome.
Well, everybody knows that I do. So.
Well, but I'm saying if I didn't know you and you were the speaker and I saw you wearing, I would be like, wow, that necklace is amazing. I wonder what she's all about.
And like with Susan, her necklace, she's worn that necklace through her a couple of times. And I just want to I want to tell her, hey, that is beautiful. It's totally her. It draws attention to her face. It makes me want to look at her. It gives me a focal point.
Yeah. And it goes with you, Tonya, because that kind of necklace on maybe a really small petite woman or something, it's going to be out of proportion and not look right. But you can carry something like that, and it's interesting. It's an interesting factor. So,
and this is a length for me that's appropriate, because it doesn't hang down where you can't see it and you're just looking at chain. I have a short neck and all of this down here, which I'm wondering what happened. But
we all wondering.
I know my grandson comes up to me and goes, well, stop it. But it works for me. And so just like I think Caterina wears a lot of bold things to draw attention to her face.
So I'm not a bold necklace person. I like simple stuff like that. And is that okay? Yeah, I like
but that is totally you.
But that's you.
Yeah.
That's you. I would not have expected you to show up in anything but something really classic. You know, and in the audience, there's going to be people that appreciate all of those things. That really, they can see themselves in you.
Okay.
You know, if it's just a little thin necklace or the layered necklaces, those, you know, the little thin gold layered ones.
Okay.
So I digress. We were talking about the different styles yesterday of speaking. We talked about classroom style. We want to talk about group style. And we also want to talk about the open forum. How many of you have taught in facilitated class? Okay.
What do you mean?
When
like
I say
style?
Yeah. When I say facilitated a class, I mean how many of you have done workshops?
On Zoom?
No, in live workshops. Okay. So everyone knows that there's a difference between a live workshop as opposed to getting up on stage and teaching a class. Okay. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching music and all kinds of things my whole life. So my style is a little different. I'm not a keynote speaker who can get up and just give you all of this content and not interact with you. And as you can see, I talk with my hands. I'm very Italian that way. I talk with my hands. So I like walking the room. I don't necessarily like being on stage. And so classroom style that's kind of what it is. Now we transfer that to Zoom and you can still do that. Like now, we're going to unmute everybody and I want you to introduce yourselves and tell us what you do. Starting with Tracy and then Gail.
Morning. I assume you mean me. Sorry, I shouldn't assume. Tracy, Ty, and I are here together. But
Tracy,
I know I was here before her, so I went with
Tracy. No, Tracy T was first. She came in at like 9:30.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Tracy R.
Right.
Tracy R. and then Tracy T.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Tracy Root, and for purposes of the California Speaker Showcase, I'm going to be your MC for Saturday, the 10th. I'm super excited about it. I am a coach and a speaker, an educator, and a community builder. I do that through one-on-one and group coaching programs, as well as helping people with their online and in-person events through our event space called Gather here in Santa Cruz downtown. Super excited to be a part of the weekend. So thank you you're welcome.
And next, Tracy T.
Hi, I'm Tracy T, Tracy Ty, and I am, I'm part of this program to put the sparkle in the room. And I'm going to be giving away some really fun jewelry and doing a fun little presentation. And I'm very excited to be a part of this program.
All right, thank you. Next is, we'll go Gail and then Libby.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Gail Willingham Thornton, and I am a registered nurse, but I just opened up a consulting company called Seek Coaching and Consulting. And for this conference, I am going to be speaking on leadership and team building. This is my first time being a part of the speakers event, and I'm excited because I'm learning a whole lot. So I want to thank Tonya for this opportunity.
No worries, thank you. Next was Libby, right?
Yeah, Libby Jason. Hi, how are you? I'm so glad to actually put names and faces today. I am a style expert. I work with entrepreneurs and speakers and business professionals to help them to up-level their look, attract more clients, pique interest, make a bigger impact, and basically increase their revenue. So I do have a signature style program, which is a 5-module course in 2.5 days with me. That's soup to nuts, the whole enchilada makeover. However, for this event, I'm really focusing more on a Zoom refresh for the attendees. It's something that they can kind of get their foot in the door and help them on a more personal basis in a smaller format. I live in Southern California, and I'm very happy to be here today and look forward to hearing everybody's presentation. So thank you again. I'm Libby Jason.
Okay, now we'll move to Susan S., then Susan T.
Good morning, friends. I'm excited to share this with all of you. I'm Susan Schloss. I'm a certified money coach, and I help women in business break through any blocks to earning more money and their challenges in their money relationship. And I will be sharing about the 8 money types, and I will be offering a complimentary money type consultation. Happy to be here with you all.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. And Susan T.
Yes, morning everyone. Susan Tollefson. I'm a productivity coach. I offer workshops and coaching to educate entrepreneurs on how to increase their efficiency, their productivity, and their profitability. And I'm going to be speaking about how to use your time more consciously and with intention.
Great. Now, Karen and Mel. Karen's here. Mel will be here shortly, and we'll have her hop in and introduce herself. Go ahead, Karen.
Yes,
and Jackie.
Hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Karen Eishen, and with my daughter, Mel Perry, we founded Envision Joy Today. We are leadership coaches and online business strategists who help women really gain the confidence to reach out and to up-level and to scale their businesses to have the life of their dreams. And for our talk with California Speaker Showcase, we are offering a challenge that will help people to help the women to really up-level their confidence so that they can reach out and thrive.
All right. All right, Jackie.
Well, hi everybody. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm so grateful for you, Tonya, who have involved me in this. So what I do is I help leaders get booked. My company is Speakertunity. We are the speaker and leader resource company. We provide leads for where you can get booked for speaking engagements, and that's virtual and in person, radio shows, podcasts, virtual summits, and virtual networking. So we're your exact gateway to all of these without having to do any of the research to find them. And then we have tools that give people the ability to get booked more easily, like we'll design your speaker one sheet, and we have an easy booking system. And for this particular event, I'm going to invite people to discover the 44 ways to seduce their next client from stages, podcasts, radio shows, summits, and virtual summits, virtual networking. And the offer that I'm going to make is our brand new recurring virtual networking update, where we give people over 150 different virtual networking opportunities, just like you can do right here, like we're doing right now, where they can attract their clients in rooms just like this. And so I'm going to invite them to take advantage of that offer as part of where they can utilize all these wonderful freebies that I'm going to inspire when I do my presentation. So that's
Great. Great. I like that you guys are sharing your topic. Okay. And next, Miss Erica Gimbel.
Hi, I'm unmuted myself, right? It happened?
Yep, everybody's supposed to be unmuted. We're doing classroom style, so I want everybody unmuted.
Okay. I am so happy to be part of this. I'm Erica Gimbel. I'm in Oakland, California, and I'm speaking and guiding a healing movement protocol that will give everybody like a transmission of goodness. And so I'm just excited to share that, and I'll be offering a series that goes with that and kind of connected with the artist way. It's called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Artist. And so there'll be this movement protocol that people can practice before we do our work. And I'm just so excited. I have a accompanist coming to play with us with the movement, and it's just so fun to get to create this with you all. And I already feel super excited and tingly about it, and it's great. In these times, it's so great to have good energy and good vibes and just good energy. So I'm just so excited. So thank you for letting me be part of this, Tonya, and thank you.
Thank you. And Miss Mel is here. Hi, Mel.
Hi.
Hey, she's here.
Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. So blessed to be here with so many powerhouse women. And I am Mel Perry, and my mom introduced herself, Karen Eishin, and together we are co-founders of Envision Joy Today. We are leadership coaches and online business strategists for women on the rise to really confidently step into their radiant and vibrant leadership so they can scale their income and impact with ease, and they can have really truly the life of their dreams, and to wake up every day with joy, which is where our company came from, Envision Joy Today, because we believe no matter where you are, that today you can choose to have joy.
And can you tell us both a little bit about what your topic is going to be at the Speaker Showcase?
Yes, our topic is Stuck to Unstoppable, Tap into Your Power to Shine. And together we will be talking about cultivating clarity and confidence so that you really can step into your most radiant, authentic, and vibrant self so that you can really shine in your business as well as your daily life. Again, because we believe that you can have joy every day, and that starts with tapping into your power to shine.
Yay, that's great. I mean, it's a total confidence builder.
Yes.
Total confidence builder. And as speakers, you guys don't know who's spoken before, and you won't know who hasn't. But what we're here to do, if this is your first time, to build your confidence. That's what I like about the community that we're building here of speakers, is to support those who are just starting out, and support those, find some mentors from the people who are, have been at this for quite some time, and to find some resources. We've got Jackie, who's going to be a great resource in this community for helping you get more speaking. How many of you know that speaking is your best way to sell and to progress in your business. It definitely is, because speaking allows you to do what? Build influence. Absolutely, build influence. Hi, Tamari.
Hello.
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry for being late. I have workshops on the weekend. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. This is the busiest speaker I know. I thought Caterina was a busy speaker. This young lady is the busiest speaker I know. I've just never seen anything like it. She's involved in everything. She speaks 4 to 5 times a day sometimes, and is a dynamo. So she's one that we want to learn from. Can you tell us a little bit about your topic and what you're going to be speaking about at the event and what your company is?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. So my company is T. Leanne Speaking Pros, LLC, and I will be speaking at the event on influential storytelling. And I'm excited to share that topic with the audience. I think it's one of the most important things as a speaker, that you really can hone in on that skill, the ability to be able to tell a story and to pull people in. And I think learning the intricate parts of that makes the difference between the audience listening to you and checking out. So I'm going to share that and give tips that I utilize when speaking to others to get them to kind of put their mind's eye into wherever I'm at in my speech.
Good, good. Thank you. Because that's something that we all need, is to be able to have the audience relate. And so oftentimes by sharing our story, we can get them to relate. The next thing that I'd like for everyone to do is to think about what we've done. We've done classroom style. Now we're going to do breakout groups. And I want you to, in your group, share what style do you think will work for you. Do you want to do a breakout room? Do you want to have it open where people can interact, you know, where nobody's muted and you can interact? The challenge with the interaction, though, with the interaction style, is that when you've got a room of 50 people, or like last event, we had 85 people, and you have to be able to control it. Do you see how I stepped in and called names so everybody knew who was next to speak? Mm-hmm. Or if you're, and it's the same thing when you're doing the style where there's Q&A. That you want to be able to control it. So you may have a team, or you can call people on, you can call on people. When you get to where you're having to shift screens, Athena's going to show you how people can raise their hand, how they can put their questions in the chat, and you can do a little bit of both when it comes to Q&A. So you've got classroom style, you've got breakout groups, and you've got Q&A styles. Okay, so
Tonya, can I ask a question?
Sure.
This is for our actual presentation as opposed to the rooms when we go into our separate rooms afterward. This is for the main presentation. I just want to clarify that.
This is for the main presentation. I don't know what you mean by when you go into breakout rooms.
Aren't we doing a separate room? You're sending people to connect with us on the offer in a separate room, right? after?
For those of you who have the 45 minutes,
Yeah.
you're going to get to make an offer, and you're going to have some time in the breakout rooms with people. Yes.
But this is for the main presentation, these what we're choosing right now when we say we want a classroom style, etc. Yes?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
All right, so Athena, are we ready for breakout rooms?
We are now.
Okay, I had to make her the host of the meeting. So when you're doing breakout rooms and you want to do these things, try to get somebody to help you. And I'm one of those people who can help you do that kind of thing. You don't have to do it on your own. Having someone else answering and reading the chat and setting up your breakout rooms, doing your raffles, that's what Legendary Events does. So you don't have to do it yourself. You can focus solely on what it is you do best, and that's talking to your people. Okay? So don't try to embrace a team of people to help.
So how many minutes?
7.
Okay, it's ready to go.
All right. So you're gonna pick a style that you think, or discuss with these people, discuss in your groups what style you would like to use at the event. Okay. How was that for everybody?
Great.
Good.
Good. That's good. I liked it.
Anybody want to share quickly?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to do because the PowerPoint presentation I have that I'm speaking, and then I will have you do, whatever the questions are in the chat afterwards. Because one of the exercises that I do during the presentation is an exercise that they do. So it is something that they can be involved and do something for what I'm teaching, and then I'll just do the chats afterwards.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Don't make me call on you.
It's Jackie. I'm good with classroom or option 4, but classroom's fine with me. But you guys will handle muting and unmuting people. I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, will be great for me.
And that's why I say get somebody else to do it with you. Call me and I will do it with you, so you don't have to worry about those things. All you need to do is make me the host of the meeting, and we can go from there.
Which begs the question of, are we actually, you're giving us a link and we're opening that link, as opposed to we're coming on everybody on the event and just you spotlighting us? So each one of us has our own links.
No. The link on the day of the event, the link that you have been using all this time is the same. The numbers haven't changed.
All right, but you're already the host, so I wouldn't have to make you the host in order for you to handle the muting and unmuting, right?
Right. You wouldn't have to if you use my code, if you use my Zoom room. And people that I help, when you're sending out a Zoom link, you want to send out my Zoom link so that I'm controlling the meeting.
All right. Are you talking about outside of this event, Tonya? Or are you talking about during this event?
Outside of this event.
Outside of this event.
Okay.
So during...
So say Jackie says, Tonya, I need your help for this event. Okay. And I will give her my code to put into her Eventbrite or whatever it is she's using, so that as people register, they get my link, my code.
But not for this event. For this event, yeah, you'll be managing it. And the only thing that's going to happen is that when I come on, and I decided it's a classroom style, as people pop up and want to raise their hands and ask questions, you'll just allow them in and mute them. So I don't really have to worry about
that. You don't have to do about it. You don't have to do any of that.
Okay. Can I ask another question?
Sure.
All right. So I got a notice. I saw the notice in here about this app that you wanted to have us opt into so that we could, you could communicate with us. It's called the Minimalistic Countdown Timer.
The Minimalistic Countdown Timer is something that you may want to put on your phone. And as you're speaking, it's a timer. Athena's going to go over that so that you know how to use it. It's just because Zoom has not developed a way to count down a speaker to say how many minutes you have left to go.
So in other words, we're supposed to do our own timing so that we know when we, okay, all right. Yeah.
We're working on though, and if we can get it to work, where minimalistic will show up in a box.
Okay.
Athena's working on that so that you won't have to do it, but it just in case, practice a little bit using that so that you know how to set it for 5 minutes or 45 minutes, you know, so that you know where you are in your timing.
Okay, great.
Okay, who else had a question?
I was just going to say to Jackie, I have a thing on my phone. It's just called P Clock. So it just kind of looks like that. And you can schedule, you can put down whatever timing you want on there, and then it changes color. So, and you can put, you want a message, you want it to change color like when you only have 5 minutes or when you only have a minute or something like that. And it's I think it was free that I downloaded, but I like it because the numbers are really, really big. So you can literally, I've used it and I can see it from like the front row. It's great.
Yeah, minimalistic is the same thing. Yep. I've used it, and now I have Caterina using it from the, so she can see it from her iPad or her laptop because it takes up the whole screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions?
I just found out you can use it on your PC as well, because I don't really like to be on my phone while I'm speaking.
Right.
So it says you're actually going to communicate with us through that. Is that the case? So
I'm going to communicate with you through Messenger. So just like I'm going to send you on Sunday or Monday, your times that you're speaking, Jackie, I'm going to go in and send it directly to you via instant messenger. Okay. I know there are a lot of you who don't use Facebook a lot, don't do Messenger, but it's the easiest way to communicate during an event. I know you don't like to use, you know, I'm not asking you to use your phone unless you're comfortable using the timer during the time that you're speaking. But just like Athena and I have been communicating on the breakout rooms, we've talked about the list, we've talked about the raffle, and we've just been going, you know, over those things. And you guys don't know anything about that. That's the behind the stuff that scene stuff that happens. So if I look up, just like Caterina, she starts at 11. I'm like, okay, are you ready to come? Just instant message her. Are you ready to come in now? Does that make, do you see the helpful tool that it can be? Like I said, I know a lot of you guys hate it.
So in other words, what you're saying is that we need to have our Facebook instant messenger page open during the conference so that you will say you're up next and, you know, be prepared to add another 5 minutes or whatever the message might be.
Or if you're talking and you're not losing your time clock and you get the 5 minutes, you glance down at your phone and you'll see it'll come up, you got 5 minutes.
Okay.
And
great.
it'll come from me.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We want to welcome Caterina.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Caterina.
Hi, love.
Hi. So nice
Okay.
to see everybody. Hi, Jack. Nice to see you.
Okay, your screen is freezing.
Everybody. Hi, Gail. Hi, Tracy.
Your screen is freezing a little bit, Caterina.
Okay.
Okay.
I will turn off everything.
Okay. Are you going to leave and come back in?
No, I'm just gonna turn off my.
Okay, your camera for a little bit.
And I'll turn off. I'll turn off everything. Am I on already, my friend?
We're getting ready to do a raffle and then you're up.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
All right. The first prize in our raffle is a Visa gift card. It could be anywhere from $20 to $500 on the card.
Ooh, I like the wheel.
Wow.
So let's spin the wheel and see who gets the card.
Here we go.
Hey, I'm not even on there, ladies.
Who's not on there?
Jackie.
Okay, let me add you, Jackie. Let's see. Hold on a second.
What app is that?
It looked like it said wheelofnames.com.
Yep, that's
There's
it.
a bunch of them.
Yeah, I also use, what is it? Wheel Decide is another one that I use.
Am I supposed to be on that wheel as well? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, please add me.
I don't know why. I'm the one that's going to win.
And that's why when you do something like the wheel, that's why you want to have people register, because if they don't register,
Tracy Ty on there.
Huh?
So you still need Tracy Ty on there.
Right. If they don't register, that's why then they won't be included in the perks that go on during the event.
Yep.
So having people register ahead of time, using their names, you know, or if you register somebody else, make sure that you're using their information.
How many are registered?
Tracy's on there.
Anya?
Tracy's right here.
No, that's one
We have
Tracy.
two
There's
Tracys.
Tracys.
The Y and the IE.
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
How many people have registered so far, Tonya?
50.
Yay.
Oh, good. That went up.
So let's keep going though. We can do 100. We've got 2 weeks. We can do 50 more.
Totally.
We really can.
Let's hope we can shoot for 150, and therefore at least
Yeah.
100 will show up.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the way it works. Okay, spin the wheel.
All righty.
Because she had to add people.
Keep going.
Oh,
that was so.
Okay.
Okay, stop.
Hey.
Kelly's not here.
So she is off.
must be present to win.
Oh, I do like that you can remove that person right away. Wheel of Names just won the contest between Wheel Decide and Wheel of Names for me.
Okay, here we go. Here we go again.
Do speakers get to be on there that are speaking at the speaker showcase?
Yes,
Caterina's
Caterina's not on there.
Oh, Erica.
Oh, we took the list off of people that registered today.
Oh, I'm a winner.
So Caterina, you'll be in the next one. That's what I mean. People, you gotta register because I just transfer that list right onto here. It's a
And that's
simple
what I
cut
put
and
in there
paste.
this morning.
Yeah, so that's how
Nice.
you get put in there. Because we just print the list and cut and paste it in. All right, Erica. This will go in the mail on Monday.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes, congratulations.
All right, right now I'd like to introduce to you our next speaker extraordinaire, Miss Caterina Rando is going to talk to you about sales from the stage. Well, sales virtually and how to maximize being virtual and making your offer, and you know how that should be made. So take lots of notes. Thank you, Libby. Take lots of notes. Some of you are first-time speakers, and I hope this information is helpful. Caterina has she's got lots of information. She's got more stuff than anybody I know.
A lifetime supply.
A lifetime supply. That was the word I was looking for.
Okay, great. And Tonya, you want me to be done at 11:50? Is that right? Or 11:45?
45.
Okay, great. All right, everybody, let's take a deep breath. Let's let it out. Now, because I know every single person here, bing, 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 I have a great, and I know what your business is. Here's what I also know. I know that you're not let's just be a motivational speaker, meaning you're not just looking to get paid for speeches. Now, it's super fun when you get paid for speeches, but you know what's even better than getting paid for speeches? Getting paid over and over and over and over and over from the same speech. How does that sound? Would you like that? Okay, good, because you know, we think about speaking and we think about the glamour of let me go and I'm going to get a big check and I'm just going to go and or don't even have to go anywhere anymore. Just stay right here and get a big check, right? Okay, but here's what I want you to know. When you speak, I want you to pick speaking opportunities that will pay you over and over. And what do I mean by that? For example, I did a talk a couple of weeks ago for Tupperware, for 300 Tupperware ladies. On the screen, there was 8 pages of ladies. And they said to me, Caterina, how much do you charge? And I gave them a very affordable fee. I said, you know what? I'm only going to charge you $400. What I'm requesting, though, is that I can make an offer. I can offer my workshop. So the first thing I want you to say is that I want you to realize is everything is negotiable. So rather than asking them for $500, which would be my normal fee for a 1-hour talk, I said, I'm going to give you reduced price if I can make an offer. Now, as a result of them being a yes and me making an offer, all I did was invite ladies to come to my workshop. And as a result of that, we already have a new lady in the Thrive at Sales class, which was $13.97. So you see that one speech has already paid me twice. Okay, now I have some other ladies from there coming to the next workshop, and maybe I'll get paid 2 or 3 times from that speech before the end of the year. Not to mention that those ladies may continue next year and do something else. So I want you to be looking for speaking opportunities where you can get paid over and over, and you can negotiate your opportunity to make an offer if they say they don't want you to do that. Now, has anybody ever heard, we don't want you to make an offer? Tell me the truth, okay?
Yes.
Yes, many times, right? And so remember that everything, my friends, is negotiable, because I have many times had a group tell me, well, Caterina, we don't let our speakers make offers. And I say, okay, well, let me ask you this question. Or I say, may I ask you a question? They say, yes. I say, is that because it has been your experience that speakers do a presentation and it's like so much selling that your audience doesn't like it? Is that why? And they say yes. Okay, so then I assure them that I'm going to give them a 99% massive value talk, and I'm just going to take not even 1 minute to make my easy yes invitation. And I say easy yes, everybody, because it is going to be easy yes. It is going to be, come to my thing, 47, 27, whatever it is, okay? And I did a talk a little earlier this morning where they only gave me 15 minutes. Now in 15 minutes, that's not much time for much. So of course, I only took like not even 30 seconds, and we got a couple of Insta signups after that event, because again, I was giving them my $47 workshop for 27. So I want you to know everything is negotiable. When they say you can't make an offer, you want to have a conversation, okay? Because the other thing, now it's a little bit different now, but before I would say, well, you know, even though you're only wanting me to speak for 45 minutes, for me to get in my car and drive to where you are and taking pretty much a day, it doesn't feel good to me if I'm not getting some type of compensation. And that would be my compensation. So everybody, that's how I say it. I say it doesn't feel good for me. And for virtual, it doesn't feel good for me to come, bring my massive value, provide you an amazing info-packed talk, and I can't even let people know how I could support them with next steps. Okay? And oftentimes, so let me, and then I let them know exactly what the offer is. Because the other thing is that there have been many speakers before us that not only took too much time for selling, but their offers were ridiculous, meaning they were high-priced offers. And so now, of course, the audience is upset, okay? But what we want to do is partner with the audience, make it easy for them to get started with us, which is why we're making the easy yes invitation. So that's the first thing. Before we even talk about the invitation, let's talk about how we're going to get you a lot more opportunities to make an invitation. Does that sound good? Okay, good. So the first thing is, you're always happy to talk about it. Now I'm going to tell you something else. Yesterday, I spoke at the Women Entrepreneur Network 3-day summit, and they were asking for a speaker fee. Now, like Tanya's fee is very affordable. She does a lot for you. It's awesome. Not everybody is as savvy as Tonya with the massive value that she provides. This was, by the way, her first event, okay? Alert, alert, alert. When it's someone's first event and they tell you, I'll tell you what happened in this case. We're going to have 300 registrants, okay? First of all, how does anybody know that when it's their first event, okay? They have no track record, all right? But they're telling you we're going to have 300. Well, and I give her a lot of credit. She did a great job. Here's what I want you to know, though. There was only 200 people registered, okay? And in the virtual world, registration does not equal smiles in the squares on the screen. I was there several times the last 2 days. The first speaker, I think there might have been 70. Later in the day, the numbers diminish, okay? Now this matters because you're looking for at least a 30% close ratio. And if you're not getting a 30% close ratio, then something needs to be adjusted. It could be your offer. It could be the audience. It could be the price. But if you're not getting a 30% close ratio, something needs to be adjusted. So here's my point. When people say to you, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're going to have so many people, your first question is, have you done it before? What were your numbers before? And I can guarantee you, and I would put big money, because my friends, not my first rodeo, not my second rodeo, not my 250th rodeo, nobody ever gets the numbers they're projecting the first time. And so before you're going to make an investment in speaking, I want you to ask some questions. And here's the other thing. Sometimes you can do, so in this case, she asked for what I thought was a very big fee for her first event. Instead, I said, let's do a revenue split. So that is another option, okay? So my friends, here's what I want you to know. Talk to your event planners, talk to the people, not just like Tonya, that it's a business and they're producing the event, but even your chapter, the people that are running the chapters that you're thinking about talking to, or the volunteers, it's all negotiable. And I want you to honor yourself, your time, and the massive value you bring. And don't go anywhere, I'm not just talking live and in person, don't go anywhere from your dining room or your office or your living room and give your massive value without some opportunity to be compensated. Can I get a bing bing for that, my friends? You know, I like to say bing bing, right? Okay?
Bing bing.
Because you know what? You are uplifting those meetings, okay? You are making their, thank you, Tracy. Mwah. You are making their meetings awesome. And I want you to value your massive value. Okay, bing, bing. So that's number one, super important. And it's all negotiable. Karen, thank you for your big smile. You make me so happy. Okay, so now let's talk about seating. So now you're there, you're giving a talk. And by the way, here's the other thing. My friends, I'm all about overt. So I would never in 100,000 years go give a talk and make an offer where I have not explicitly told them, requested, and gotten agreement that I can do it. And the other thing is, I'm always going to be very explicit about how much time I'm going to take. Because know that all meeting planners talk, all event producers talk, and when you're a speaker that says, I'm going to take a minute at the end, and you take 10 minutes or 20 minutes, I can tell you right now, you are not going to get invited to speak, much less, okay? All speakers have a reputation. And I have been in audiences where I've been a friend of the speaker and known the massive speaking fee that they got and watched them take 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of their paid professional talk to make an offer. And believe me, the meeting planners were not happy. So we want to do, and this is what I look for. I want to be an excellent speaker partner, not just an excellent speaker. And what does that mean? That means I'm not a diva, okay? Meaning if it's live and in person, I'm bringing my own water, I'm bringing my own handouts, okay? I'm not requesting that they have to have this, that, and I'm bringing my own PowerPoint machine, okay? Or projector, I'm bringing it all. Because why? Because I want to make it easy for the meeting planner to do business with me. If we're talking virtual, how much time do I have? Because we never want to go over. Let me promote for you. All of those things that your meeting planners are requested. Be an outstanding meeting partner, okay? Not just an awesome speaker. Sometimes there's people, they say, well, Caterina, who's the best speaker? I tell them, you know what? There's a lifetime supply of excellent speakers, outstanding speakers. That's not what I'm caring about exclusively. I'm also caring about how easy are they to work with? Do they promote for whatever they're doing? Are they being loud and proud about my event? Are they putting a video or a testimonial about how amazing it is to partner with me? This is the type of speaker, my friends, that you want to be. And of course, you're no complaino, right? No complaino. You could make a request. You could make, by the way, a complaint is an unstated request. Super tip alert for your whole life. A complaint is an unstated request. So let's make sure that you pay attention. Anything that you're even complaining about to yourself, that's a request you're not making. And it's okay to make requests. Be, though, an outstanding speaker partner, always looking for how you can support your meeting planner to do better. Because you know why? That's going to get you more referrals. That's going to get you more bookings. And that's going to have the word on the street or in the virtual world be good about you. Because again, there is a lifetime supply of excellent speakers. There is a smaller supply of excellent speaker partners. Everybody vibing with me? Can I get a bing bang? Okay, good. Now, the other thing, thank you, Erica. Okay, so my friends, back to seating. So what is seating? Seating is when you tell them early in your talk what your offer is going to be later in your talk. So, for example, I did a talk a couple days ago. I said, hey, by the way, we're talking today about selling with authenticity. I want to let you know I've got a lifetime supply for you. And at the end of this, I'm going to invite you to my workshop on October 3rd, setting yourself up to thrive at sales. We'll talk more about that. That will continue our conversation for today, from today, okay? So now that took me what, 5 seconds? But it also let them know the date. It also let them know it was coming. So they can actually look at their calendar if they want and see if they're even available if they are going to be interested later, okay? That's a seed. Now that is a very explicit seed. Another seed could be to just mention, by the way, I teach selling with authenticity. Okay, that's a more covert seed. Again, I'm all about the over. It's okay to mention that you have your thing coming up if it's taking you 5 seconds, if you're providing a massive value talk. Everybody with me? And here's what I want you to know. When you provide massive value, your audience is more open, inclined, welcome to hear your offer. It's when you tell an audience what they got to do, but you don't give them one clue on how to do it, and then you're sign up for my program, that now they're not happy with you. Are you following me, my friends?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this idea of tell them what to do, but don't tell them how to do it. Okay, let's be very clear. Being stingy does not look good on anybody. Would you concur? No, Libby, no matter how gorgeous the outfit is, right? Being stingy does not look good on anybody. Being generous looks great on you. And this idea that you got to hold back some content because, if I give it all to them today, they won't want more. That is not the way to think about your business. I want you to be so generous with your content in the time allowed, because what you're doing is you're showcasing that you got a lifetime supply for them. And by the way, don't hesitate to do what I do and tell them you got a lifetime supply, if in fact you do, okay? If you're fresh to the party, do not do that, okay? But if you have years and years of doing this and you feel confident that you have a lifetime supply, then yes, bring it, okay? Because there's always more. Be explicit in the beginning with your seed. That's what I'm saying, okay? Now, by the way, you're only talking, this is a little basic, but I just want to be clear. You're only talking about what matches your upsell, okay? Like, yeah, I could give a talk on how to run group programs or how to run retreats or, you know, other topics, but I'm not doing that right now because what I got is a workshop on Saturday on selling. Are you following me? Okay. And nobody wants to talk about how to do a retreat right now because we're living pandemic lifestyle. So I'm not offering that topic. And sometimes groups say to me, Caterina, what's your topic? And my answer is, it depends on the time of year that you would like me to speak. Did everybody hear that? Because I'm being strategic with my answer because, for example, in December, we're having the Expand Your Fempire Summit. So in November, the topic is strategies to build your fempire. Okay? Your speech has to match what you're going to offer. So if you have a variety of offerings, please make sure that you are only talking about what is the next thing that you're wanting to have your attention on, okay? Everybody with me on that? Okay, bing, bing. And by the way, this is where your strategy, your speaking strategy comes into play. And this is where I'm telling you to make sure you're calendaring yourself for the whole year. Okay, now again, that's not public, it's just for you. But that way you know, hey, if I'm doing my big thing in December, I'm gonna make sure I book a lot of speeches for November and late October, right? But you can't do that if you haven't put those dates on your calendar. When are you gonna start a group program? Well, if you're gonna start it in the beginning of October, then hopefully you have lots of speeches in September and a couple of workshops. Everybody following me? Okay. Okay, good. So we've seeded in the beginning, and I want you, when you're selecting what you're going to offer, to keep in mind that your ask, meaning your offer, cannot exceed the amount of influence you have built. Okay? So for example, Libby, I'm not sure if you know this, I've worked with many, many image professionals to grow their business. And one day, years ago, I go to a lunch where we were getting together for lunch, and I hear a new image consultant give a great talk. The talk was very good. But you know what? She only had half an hour. And at the end of her talk, she said, hey, my regular XYZ image package is $12.97. Because you're with me today, it's only $7.97. Now, she gave a much better offer than that, okay? Just giving you the Reader's Digest version. Here's my point. It might have been a great offer, but it was way too big of an ask because she only had 30 minutes to build influence. Now, that meant that she was depresso at the end of her talk, even though it was a great talk. The talk was great. The offer exceeded the amount of influence she had built. And I want you to pay attention to this because many of you know how I roll, how I do it. I give a speech or I do a 1 hour and then I invite them, and I'm talking in the virtual world, to a 3 hour, and then I invite them to a 9 week. It is extremely effective. Why? Because the ask is not exceeding the amount of influence I have built. Now, and I'll explain more. Here's the other thing, my friends, just to back up. I'm talking not about you speaking on other stages. I want to make sure that you're all having a thing. And what I mean by your thing is your 1 hour, or Tracy for you, with Bling Lifestyle, even half hour of a virtual thing every week or every 2 weeks. And this is something that you have that you can always invite people to. A lady messages me a few weeks back. She sent me a picture of a book I published in 1994. Now, I like to think I don't look like I was talking yet in 1994, but the truth is I was already speaking. And she said, "Hey, Caterina, loved your book. Thank you so much." And here, and she sent me a picture where I had written, "Expect success, love, Caterina." Now, after I said thank you, you warmed my heart. What did I say next? Come to my thing. Do you have a thing that you can put everybody you're talking to and invite them to come and be with you and showcase your massive value? And I'm not talking about a 3-hour thing or even a 2-hour thing, because the more time we ask people for everybody, the less likely they are to show up. Did everybody hear that? Okay. And so this is why I'm saying to Tracy, because she's going to be showcasing her gorgeous jewelry, my friend, try a half hour. See if that gets more smiles on the screen. Okay. Because I can tell you, for other jewelry ladies, it's working. And if you've been asking for 2 hours as an initial step to being with you, that's too big of an ask. Okay, everybody? Make it super easy for people to say yes and show up. Now, if I give a speech, I don't invite people to come to my 1 hour. I invite them to the 3 hour. The speech is equal to your thing. Okay? Then and so the point is that at the 1 hour, I'm not going to say, sign up for my $14.97 program. I'm going to say, come and spend more time with me. That is your goal, for people, for you to build more influence with people after they've met you. And by the way, all this, let's network and let's get together and have 50 virtual coffees with people. Okay, my friends, I know that you're not on vacation these days, but you're too VIP for that. And let me tell you why. Now, not to say that I don't ever do it. I do it a couple times a month. But if I had to get together with every Mary Jane and Sheila that asked me, I wouldn't have any time to do anything else. Can anybody else vibe with me on that? Okay, so what do I do instead? I say, come to my thing. And you know what? This is going to make people excited to spend time with you, because you're not asking them to have an intimate discussion with you when you have not built influence with them yet. Like, let's take our fabulous friend here, Susan. I just spilled my water all over my Bing Bing sign. It's now wet. Okay. Our friend Susan, she's going to talk to people about their money. Well, guess what? You want to get together with somebody you don't know and talk about money? How about weight? You want to get together with somebody to talk about weight? How about if you have a relationship that's lacking? You want to get together with somebody you barely know and talk about that? Who's up for that? Okay, no, now let's take our friend Erica. Erica is an amazing psychotherapist. You can see how positivo she is, okay? She can help you with whatever you need to uplift your life. But wouldn't you rather do it in a group setting first? Wouldn't it be great if instead of saying, hey, let's have a one-on-one, Susan said, hey, come on, I'm gonna do a thing on challenges women have with money that they might not even know about and how to overcome them. Bing, bing, who's interested in that? I'm interested in that. Okay, that's exciting. I'm not intimidated, right? And if Erica says, hey, Caterina, come, we're gonna talk about how to be super healthy during the pandemic. Okay, that's great. But if she says, hey, Caterina, you wanna get together and let's talk about your weight? Do you think I'm interested in that conversation? Okay, so I want you to pay attention to this, because some of you are, it's not that you're not awesome and amazing, you're making the wrong asks, okay? So the less intimidating the ask is, the more people will show up. But isn't it awesome when you can build influence with 10, 20, 30 people at once and not have to be having one? Because what happens with a one-on-one conversation is now you're trying to persuade, you're trying to demonstrate your value, but it's not really the right format for that. Everybody vibing with me on this? Okay. Okay, good. Bing, bing. Okay, so you've seeded Now you're getting clarity on your ask, and your ask is not going to exceed the amount of influence you built. Right, everybody? Rule number 1. Okay. So now you've done, and by the way, your talk was massive value. You want to bring in some client examples in your talk. Everybody with me on that? Why? Because it showcases to the audience how you work with your clients, and it has them start to think about, oh, maybe she could help me with that. Okay? So if I say to you, hey, my VIP client, Banush, she said to me she got more done in 9 weeks in the Thrive at Sales program that she's got done in the last 5 years. Bing, bing. That's kind of impressive, right? So I would use that before I'm going to offer that after my 3-hour workshop. But guess what? If I'm giving a speech, my only interest is to spend more time with those people. Now, this is a different philosophy that many of you may have heard. Many coaches offer high-priced packages. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. You're welcome to do that. But you know what? You're going to have people that are going to be prove it to me. Who wants prove it to me potential clients? No, we want show me, right? So when our ask does not exceed our influence, people are show me. They're ready, okay? And by the way, and Erica, was that vibing with me or was that a question?
Well, I'm always vibing with you, Caterina, but
thank you, my friend.
And I get really confuso in these offers because like something about the money conversation, like I want to be super accessible, and then there's so many different mixed messages like going on with how we offer, and like I want it to be super accessible for people, and I want to be able to, you know, have it be like show that I'm valuing my time, and then but there's all these mixed messages, so I just get really confused. And
so Erica, love to you. And everybody, I'm on gallery view or speaker view, whatever works for you. Okay, Erica, so here's the thing. If we're not having clarity, our offer is not going to be awesome. Okay? And so that's the first thing, is that you do want to get clear on your offer. And you know, one of the challenges we have as women entrepreneurs is we have what I call brilliant idea syndrome. And Erica, because I know you a little bit, because I have brilliant idea syndrome. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And oh, hey, here's this other exciting thing to do. And, you know, I really love to do this. And so asked me for this. And the guiding principle I want you all to be embracing is that you're massively monetizing what you've already got before you start something new. Okay? And Erica, this is not just for you. This is for all of us, because yes, you have a lifetime supply of value to bring. Yes, you could be masterful on 25 different topics, but again, only be focused on filling the next thing, the next group program, the next workshop, the next class. Okay, Erica? So the confusing part, let's see if we can add some clarity. Does that sound good? Okay, let's shine the light. Okay, so if you're at a speech, you're not offering your 1 hour, you're offering your bigger thing. Now, your bigger thing, Erica, could be a group workshop or a half workshop day, or it could be a one-on-one, but you're not going to do a free consultation. Okay? This is for everybody. Never, ever, ever, in my opinion, give a free consultation from a speech. Okay? Those of you that are selling, coaching, consulting, etc. Now, this does not mean that we don't talk to people. This does not mean that we don't have sales conversations. But what it means is that you can make an offer that takes advantage of the massive value you've provided. And if you work with people one-on-one, makes it easy for them to be a yes to get started with you. But when you offer, let's say you give a 1-hour talk and you offer a 10-week course, even if you offer it for $47, the time commitment is exceeding the amount of influence you built. Because remember, people invest in both their time and their money, right? So after a 1-hour talk, I'm suggesting a 3-week thing or a 3-hour thing or a one-on-one thing that is about 1/3 to 1/2 of the price you would regularly charge. So for example, Maureen Xavier, many of you know her. She's in our community. Fabulous gal. She spoke at Tonya's last event. Okay, I think her fee is like $297 or something. I'm not exactly sure, but it's up there for one session. Okay, and she's a healer and a channeler, and so she does something, a speech, and she offers it for $97, about 1/3 of her regular fee. Now, you might think, well, why would she do that? Because she's already getting almost $300. Because the goal is not to massively monetize that speech. The goal is to gather all of the interested parties by making it easy for them to be a yes. Okay, everybody following me on that? And then, of course, what does she do? And I was the insta yes. What does she do when you're at the end of your $97 session? She offers you the 3 package or the 6 package. Okay? And this is what I'm saying to you. When we're not trying to massively monetize a 1-hour speech, we're wanting to gather all the interested parties in the room. So as we discussed in the top of our time together, we can get paid over and over and over. Give you perfect example. I go somewhere. Oh, I spoke at the eWomen conference. Okay, you know, one of the biggest conferences. And I talked, I believe the time slot was 90 minutes. And at the end of the 90 minutes, I made an offer for coaching, $2,500. I got 3 people that said yes, Insta. Not including anything after, but just right there, Insta, that's $7,500. Now, my friends, who thinks that's good for an afternoon? Okay, guess what? It might seem good, but it's absolutely terrible. Because the next week, I'm in Southern California. I'm speaking at another conference. And instead, I invite the ladies to come to the Shiro Summit, which, by the way, is October 16, 17, and 18. And 26 ladies say yes. Now, that's pretty good because this was a multi-speaker event. You're going to have a lower close ratio when it's a multi-speaker event, okay? So even though there's about the same number of people in the room, about 100, I got 26, which is awesome with multi-speaker. So every speaker that they're adding, you can take off, 5 to 10% lower that you're going to get. Now, you might say, okay, Caterina, I think I'm pretty good at math, and that only equals about $2,500. Well, yeah, but guess what? What happened when those ladies came to the summit? Okay, $60,000 in the first 6 months. And by the way, one of those people has been to every single luxury retreat since then, meaning I've been getting paid over and over and over from that one speech. But if I did what I did in that other room, I would have only gotten 3 people. And I would have only gotten 75 or 3 or 2 or 5, but I would have only got paid on that one day. My friends, your strategy matters. Okay, so a couple other important things I want to say. Your speech, of course, matches what you're selling next, your offer. And you want to focus, of course, on, you have to give them all the information, the logistics, what it is, etc., when it's going to be, how many times, and everything has a sexy name or a compelling name. It's not, hey, you want to come to my workshop on sales. No, it's come to my workshop, set yourself up to thrive at sales. A little bit more exciting, right? Not come to my workshop on doing retreats. No. How to plan, produce, and profit with women's retreats, okay? Everybody give everything a sexy name. Also,
Caterina?
Yes.
Erica had a question.
Go ahead, my friend.
I kind of forgot my question, but it'll come.
Okay.
Give it a sexy name. Oh, this is what I want to say. So, can I ask this question?
Of course, my friend.
Okay, so this whole thing of like, there's about 16 speakers on for Tonya's thing. So be generous with our offers and make it super easy and accessible for people to do the next thing. So does that mean like make it as low cost as possible? Like, just low cost so that everybody can say yes to everything.
So that is absolutely, yes. And
the right people will say yes to the right.
Exactly, Erica, that is absolutely my recommendation. Because they are, if it's $400, you're going to get less people, and they're going to have to put a lot more attention on whether or not they're going to get their return on investment. If it's $47, even if they were a yes to 3 other speakers, they can still be a yes to you. Following me? Okay. So yes, because a multi-speaker event, now other people may have a different opinion, okay? But what I'm saying is if you want to give a massive value talk, which I always do, my intention is to gather all the interest in the room, not to massively monetize that talk, because I want to get as many people as possible into my next thing so that I can get paid over and over and over. Okay. And by the way, we're going to have another talk another time on maximizing, but remember that there's 4 kinds of clients, right? They're not going to all be Insta. So you still have to do your follow-up, because and then you're going to have some slow cookers. You're going to have to see how else can you engage them. Your super slow cookers taking up to a year, and your super slow cookers, which might take more. So it's very, very important that you have your systems in place after your talk to re-engage anybody that was not an Insta yes, and keep engaged anybody that was an Insta yes for that thing, but they're not converting to the next thing. Okay, so this is where you want. And by the way, some of these things we'll talk about at the Shiro Speaker Summit in October, which let's see, Tonya, will you put that info in the chat, please, for anybody that wants to come? We have a discount code for you to come, and we will send your cape in the mail for that. Okay, but I got more to say. Deep breath. Okay, and Tonya, if you have to hook me, because I might go a minute or 2 over. Okay, so here's the thing. You want to give everything an alluring name, as we've just said. You want to make sure everybody clearly understands what you're sharing, meaning date, time, etc. You absolutely always put it in the chat. And you may want to also do PowerPoint at least for your offer. I don't tend to do that, but it is another recommendation. Okay. Now, additionally, many speakers talk too fast when they're making their offer. It's Wednesday, it's next Saturday, it's 10 to 1, it's going to be awesome, it's $47. No, my friends, you have to go very slow, okay? By the way, my friends, I hope you join me next Saturday. It's going to be massive value, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The regular price is $47. Mwah, because you're VIP with me, because I want to do everything I can to support you. It's going to be only $27 when you use that code CAT27. Now, by the way, you have to give people a reason why they're getting a discount. Okay, and don't use the word but. You say, because you're VIP with me, because you're friends with Tonya, because Erica twisted my arm, whatever it is, because, not but. And then usually you want to have an urgency offer, meaning that code is only good for the next 24 hours. Urgency, discounts, or both are what cause a decision. Did everybody get that? Discounts, bonuses, or both. One of the big mistakes people say is they say it's regularly $47, because you're with me today, it's $27, and then they don't say when you sign up today or tomorrow, okay? You want to have that urgency in there. Now, you don't have to give a discount and a bonus for a super low cost thing, all right? When I'm doing my 3-hour workshop, I'm saying for any, I don't give a discount, but I give a bonus. I say anybody that joins today and you let me know today, I'm gonna reward your fast decision making, because that's what successful women do. And I'm gonna gift you a half an hour clarity session. $275 is the regular price. That's yours because you're making a decision today. So discounts, bonuses, or both, but both save for the much more expensive items. Everybody with me on this? Okay, discounts and bonuses create urgency. Now, there's one other thing I want to share with you that I want to make sure you're doing when you're making offers. Okay, you all know, of course, to talk to them about the results, right? You're gonna know the systems to create, to grow your sales. I'm gonna give you the easy process for what to say in the sales conversation. We're gonna talk about strategies for follow-up that you may not be embracing. By the way, 3 bullet points, okay? Don't give them 50 bullet points. 3 bullet points if we're talking about an easy yes thing, as I'm demonstrating right now. But the thing that often people forget about is they forget to talk about the transformation. Now, what is the difference between results and transformation? Results are what they can see. We're going to grow your sales. You're going to have your best month ever. Those are results that people could see that. You could measure that, right? That's a result. Libby's going to say, you're going to know what to wear every morning. You're going to know what to wear when you open your closet. That's a result, okay? Transformation is what happens on the inside. You're going to be more confident than you've ever been before. You're going to not only know what to say, it's going to feel good when you say it on a sales call. That's transformation. Everybody following me? The difference? Oftentimes, speakers talk about the results, but they forget about the transformation. Now, let's remember, everybody, we make decisions with our executive brain, but or with our emotional brain. We justify them with our neocortex brain. So my point is here that transformation touches the emotional part of them, and that supports them in making a decision to move forward with you. Now, here's the other thing. You've heard from maybe some old-time speakers and trainers that you say the price and then you be quiet. I disagree. You say the price and you remind them of the transformation, because that is what people are looking for. They're looking for the results and the transformation. Okay. All right, Tonya, I know I did 4 minutes over. I wanted to get in that last important part. Oh, by the way, my friends, please join me next Saturday for my Set Yourself Up to Thrive at Sales workshop. Not only do I promise you massive value, I promise you it will feel better every time you're on a sales conversation for the next everlasting number of years, because it is all about authentic selling.
And we did put the link in the chat for both the Shiro Summit as well as the sales event on October 3rd. Did anyone have any questions for Caterina? You can just unmute yourself and we'll go to classroom style.
Erica, I see your question about the revenue split. Do you want to ask that question or a different one?
Yeah, what do you mean by that, if you don't mind?
Okay, yeah, so a revenue split. So a revenue split is when somebody promotes you and then you sell something and they get half the revenue and you get half the revenue. Or it could be a different, like I just got hooked up with a lady. She's taking 25% of any fees that you get when she puts you on a stage, but not just the speaking fee, also any products or services that you sell. Now, my friends, you test all of this. Frankly, I would much rather just pay my fee to Tonya and get to keep all the money myself after, because remember, I'm looking to get paid over and over and over, okay? But it's really, you can try different partners, you can try different systems. If I feel sometimes that people are asking way too much for the speaker spot, meaning the pay to play, as we're doing with Tonya, then I will offer a revenue split instead, okay? But if I did that with Tonya, I probably would have lost money. It definitely came out ahead. We had, Tonya, at least 2 people, I think, maybe more. I will have to look at the smiles on the screen. Sign up, several signed up for the workshop, but sign up for the Thrive at Sales program. So this, it's all a test. It's all a test. It's all, I told you I did this 3-day summit yesterday. And as I'm getting ready to do it, I'm thinking, man, it's sure a good thing that I'm not relying on this particular talk to fill anything for me. You want to have a lot going on, because if you have 6 speeches on your calendar this month, and by the way, if you don't, what are you waiting for? Because it's COVID lifestyle. Okay, you can talk. I've spoken 3 times in one day before 2 o'clock in the afternoon in 3 different states. You can do that because we're not going anywhere. But my point is that they're not all going to be out of the park events. Tonya did a great job of getting at the last event that she did. There's a lot of people there, and that's very challenging in COVID lifestyle. So I've given speeches where they told me there's going to be 30 ladies and there's 6. Good thing I'm not relying on that speech, which is why I'm saying I want you to have more bookings this now with COVID lifestyle, so that it's easier to get more clients, because these events may not get the attendance they're projecting.
Caterina, this is Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Hi, thank you for all the information.
You're welcome.
I want to know, do you request your fee ahead of time? How do you usually request the fee?
Okay, so again, Gail, remember that I'm more interested in getting paid over and over and over. Mm-hmm. So if somebody says to me, Caterina, what's your fee? My first question is usually, well, a few things. How many people? Mm-hmm. Okay, because if it's 100 people or if it's 10 people, usually the budgets are different, but I want to know that. Also, I want to know it because if there's only 10 people, then I can't get 12 clients from a 10 people audience, right? Okay. But I can get 10 clients from a 400 people audience. So I'm less concerned with my speaking fee and more interested in making an offer. Okay. So and also, how many other speakers are you having? Mm-hmm. And then what topic do they want you to speak on, which makes sure that it matches what you offer? Okay. Like if they said, hey, Caterina, we want to have you come talk about networking. Sure, I can do that, Gail, but I got no products for networking. Mm-hmm. So, or no services, right? So the only thing I'm going to do there is get paid by my fee, which means it's going to be higher, right? Than if they say, come talk on sales, then bing, 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 I'm not as concerned with fee. Okay. Yes, but you ask a lot of questions, Gail, everybody, before you say your fee. Did everybody hear that? Okay. And one of the things I'm asking for is I'm asking, well, hey, thank you so much. And by the way, is there anybody else that will be there that also books speakers? Okay. May I say something more about this, Tonya?
Yes. Can you go over the difference also about the speakers that do the I only want to take speak, I don't pay to speak?
Oh yes, I'll talk about that. Yes. Okay. So what I want to talk about is that there's two kinds of audiences. And I'm not talking about the show me and the prove it to me. I'm talking about a closed room and an open room. Okay. So what I mean by that, when Tonya hosts her event, it's an open room, meaning everybody is from a different place, right? Okay. When I went and talked to the Tupperware ladies, that was a closed room. There's really only a couple of ladies in there that book speakers, right? Because they're all the same organization. Are you following me? Okay. So you want to this is Gail why we're asking about the audience. Okay. I remember once I spoke to the California something directors of foster parent education. Now, I didn't get my regular fee. In fact, another speaker referred it to me because their budget was half of her fee. They didn't give me my regular fee, but you know what, Gail? Every single person in that room hired speakers, okay? Those beautiful ladies kept me booked for the next 2 years. I got literally 25 different training engagements from that room, okay? Now, and at the time it was $2,500 I got paid. I would have probably done it for free, okay, if I had known. Are you following me? So my friends, this is the strategy, okay? This is why you're not just thinking about, I got to get my fee. If they can't do my fee, well then forget it. Why would you be like that? You want to be strategic and think about how else you can monetize that talk, okay? So if it's an open room, bing, bing, or if you can make an invitation as we've discussed, bing, bing, right? Okay, now I'm going to address Tonya's question. But first, take a sip of what remains in my glass. Okay. When somebody says, I'm too VIP, and by the way, you guys, you've heard me say, I'm too VIP to clean my house. I'm too VIP to go grocery shopping, okay? So I'm sharing that with you because I consider myself to be at least a little VIP. But I don't say I'm too VIP to pay for speaking. And here's why. When somebody puts in front of me a room of my ideal clients, that is all the marketing money I did not have to spend. That is what we're paying for, okay? I was very happy at Tonya's last event. Look at all those smiles in the squares on the screen. At a time when other people might have the registrations, but they're not having the show ups, okay? I don't know if I said this to you when I was talking about this other conference I did yesterday. 200 registrations, never more than 70 people on the screen, mostly one page, which is 49 people or less, depending on your settings, okay? So realize that if someone is getting the numbers that they're promising, that's marketing dollars. I told you this lady I signed up with yesterday, she's having tons of women's events. And so am I happy to give her 25%? Well, not as happy as I would be to pay a flat fee, okay? But my point is, that's marketing money that you're not spending. And by the way, everyone, marketing is not your job. It's not the highest and best use of your time. Speaking, selling, serving, strategy, and self-care, those are your jobs. So if you're spending all your time doing all this marketing stuff, you're not in your zone of mastery, which are those 5 pillars I want you to master. I encourage you to master, okay? So Tonya, I hope that answers it. My friends, we're partnering, right? We're partnering with Tonya. She's doing the marketing, and our job is to show up and be a great speaker partner. and as a result, also massively monetize.
We're
Okay.
also doing the marketing too, though, with Tonya. 'Cause
We're doing the marketing too, but it's not our Fanny on the line, Erica. You know, she's the one. Yes, because we're doing the marketing because we're good speaker partners, as we discussed, right? Because I want her to invite me back. Okay. So I'm going to do my speaker, but I'm not relying on me to fill her room. It's her job to fill her room. And she's not only inviting her speakers, she's doing a lot of other things to fill that room. Okay.
I don't know if any of you have ever checked with a graphic designer or had to hire a graphic designer. It's expensive.
Well, it's not.
And,
yeah, that's
and that's every time you want to change something on your design. Every time you decide in the middle of the thing that you're changing your topic. Every time you don't want this picture, but you want that picture. That's $100 hit.
My friend, $100. We need another graphic designer. That's too much.
Yes, we do.
For a change. All right. Well, let's have a conversation. Okay. All right. Bing, bing. So my friends, see these as marketing partners. You know, these and again, you know, I'm happy to. I'm a big fan of spaghetti marketing, where you test a variety of things, you see what sticks, and you let go of what doesn't. My friends, I'm here, but I know all of you. I think I'm friends with everybody on Facebook. Libby, maybe we're not friends on Facebook yet. I will make sure to do that. If not, or send me a request. I'm happy to support you any way I can. Tonya's an amazing person. She's doing a phenomenal job with her business. And many of you I have I won't say intimate, but very close relationship with. And I'm happy to support you any way I can. And please come join me next Saturday if you're not already on my VIP list. Thanks, everybody.
Caterina, you're
all
amazing.
Right.
Thank
you
so much.
Thank
you,
Caterina.
women. That's
Bing, bing, bing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Rock.
We're gonna take a break and go to lunch. We'll come back at 12:32, and then we've got Athina, who's gonna answer your Zoom questions and give you some tips and tricks on that. And we're gonna have Libby Jensen talk to us about style and how we look on Zoom. Okay? Enjoy your lunch. We'll see you shortly.
Come back.
So I'd like to take a minute and introduce you to Athina Salazar. She is a member of the Legendary Events team, a very important member. And she's taught me a lot about Zoom and makes it possible for these events to run smoothly. That's why I know that me running a Zoom meeting by myself of this magnitude is not the highest and best use of my time. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're going, you know, you want to do these events, unless you have two people with you or you and another person, please try it, see how it works. There are a lot of things to consider. Call me, run the idea by me, and I can tell you whether you should be able to handle it or you shouldn't, or, do you know what I'm saying? Because you really want to create any event that a person wants to come back to, or they can't wait to look forward to your next one. Okay? You want to create an experience. You don't want to just haphazardly do something. All right, and if I can answer questions for you, I will. So Athina Salazar, are you ready?
Yep. I think I've let everybody in the room. So if you let anybody else in the room that shows up, that'd be great.
Will do. She's gonna go over some stuff with you. Do you want them unmuted so that they can ask questions starting at 1 o'clock, or?
Yeah, they could. I have everybody up on the screen, so if I see a hand go up while I'm talking, I can
Okay.
send out unmuting them, you know, so go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question in that particular area, and then you can ask your question, and then I'll come back to it if I know I'm going to cover it a little bit later on.
Okay, she's going to show you in the beginning how to raise your hand and how to use the reaction buttons.
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. So in your, let me see where it is. So, okay, I'll go ahead and introduce myself first. That's the first thing you're supposed to do.
Tell them a little bit about what you do.
Yeah. So hello, everyone. My name is Athina Salazar, and I am the Chief Possibility Officer with my company, Life to Design. And I have actually been working with people throughout my career from the age of 6 to 104. So I've been taking care of people in multiple areas, working, running large organizations. I think the largest I've run as personally responsible for about 250 employees. So my business, I actually do business coaching. I have 3 aspects to the company. One is actually aligning that business owner to their organization, because many times as you build a business, your role shifts. So it's more leadership development is what I cover with business owners and their alignment to their vision of what they're wanting. And next is their team. So how do you translate that information into your team and empower your team to be able to do what it is that you're envisioning? And then the other piece is technology. And that's how Tonya and I, when everything with COVID happened, we had worked together on some other things, and we've known each other, and she reached out and said, please help, you know, and then I said I would love to. So when I do events, my events are very selective with who I actually partner with. So if it's, you know, large events, I've had up to managing events with about 32 speakers. And personally, just to be able to share with you, I'm actually a speaker just as you are. This is a speaker time when I was on stage as well, and some of the people that I've spoken with on stages. So I'm here right in your seat as well. So I have clients all over the world, and I help them. Right now, they're transitioning. How do I go from being on stage to doing this inside of my home stage, basically, is what's going on here. So what I'm going to talk about today is really setting your virtual stage, more of the technical on how to do that. So not necessarily how this morning, it was more about how are you going to do your delivery? How are you going to interact? What are you going to offer? So that was more of this morning. And now this afternoon, and Libby's going to be talking after me about you personally. So I'm not going to cover any of that. She's going to cover that, but I'm going to talk about your environment and your stage and what you're going to be doing. So Tonya has brought to us this platform. So basically she's brought the structure. Now before, she would actually set up the stage. She would have the risers, she would have the podium, the lighting, the camera person. She's not doing any of that. That's all on you. So that's what we see. So your audience, we can see multiple stages going on here right now as an audience member. And which stage am I attracted to? What is each one telling me? A visual story. We always know that a picture is worth 1,000 words, you know, so when somebody looks at your picture, what are you wanting them to see? So here I'm wanting peace and tranquility, you know, and just being here for you in every way possible. So think about, so when you look at your backgrounds that you're going to be using, so first I'm going to go into your set. So you have to make a decision where in your home, because we're all home based right now. So unless you're going out to a studio to do all of your video interaction, you have to make a decision on where your space is going to be in your home. Because if you don't have that, lighting
is going to change every single time. Your lighting is going to change, the shadows are going to change, the sound is going to change. So all of those things are very, very important for you to decide, where in my home am I going to set this up? So that's number one. You want to make sure that you've dedicated space to that. So you have two options on your backgrounds. So one is like Tonya has, I believe Libby does. Let's see. Yep, they're the only ones. They're using a virtual background. So those are the things that are available on Zoom, where you can select a virtual background. You can change that out. It can be a video. It can be a set picture in the background. And I know that Tonya has hers with the logo. So you can do that as well to help advertise your business. In order to use that, some systems can do it where you say, put up my virtual background, and they're able to get everything else out of the space and put that picture up there. But some have a hard time with that. And that's what's called a green screen. So what I've done, so this document that I'm sharing on the screen, I'm going to put this in a little bit later, and it has links to everything. So you just click on the picture and it'll take you directly to that item. So a green screen is something that you would put up behind you. And green, it's almost like the color on the webcam side, how it's that kind of off green. You know, usually you're not wearing that color. So the system is going to put the picture wherever it sees the green. So that's what a green screen is. It's saying, what color are you different than? And then we'll put the picture in that space. So then it'll put it up there. So with that, you want to think about, so for me, if I were to use a green screen, because of my hair, it would be very pixelated. I mean, it would be a visual nightmare trying to look at me while I'm speaking and moving while I have a green screen up. So there's very specific purposes that I use a green screen, but typically I would use what's called a backdrop. So here in the picture, it shows one with a bookcase, and it's blue, and it's showing you that it is a backdrop. So that's physically behind you. So to give you an example, so here in my home, so just through, behind the scenes, so to speak, I'll move my camera. So typically they're on poles. So you usually see like there's a pole across, and then you clamp the backdrop to that. So then here, what I've done in my home, if I can show you. So see over here, there's a rail that we put up on the ceiling. So there's one on both sides. So let me go ahead and move back. So we've actually physically put up the rails, so the pole is always there and available. So whenever I need it, or if I want to hang my backdrops, then they can just stay there. And then you won't have the wrinkles in them and all of that. So that's one way. So if you have dedicated space, so in here in my office, on the other side, I actually have 2 TVs set up, because on the larger events, there's 2 different, you have to be on 2 different computers for the multiple things that are running. So I've had about 32 different speakers at once and bringing people in and out. So it's going to require a lot of coordination. So then actually breaking that up. So for you as a presenter, it's fantastic, because you just get to come on and we get to bring you in and put you up on the screen. So, but if you're technically going to do it, so that's where Tonya was saying, you really, depending on your size of your event that you're doing, you want to make sure to have the proper technology that you're using. So that's really key. So I gave you links to some samples of green screens and also backdrops. So now we switch over to your camera. So this is a lens that everybody sees you. So this is what is going to be either high definition or it's not. So we really want to get something or purchase something that is more high definition. Now, Apple computers are really, really good at putting really good cameras inside of their laptops and their computers. So if you have a Macintosh those are really good. They're more designed for creatives. So that's why that's going to be like that. So I would recommend, normally a PC, the cameras aren't as good. So external cameras are the best. And that's why I put down the sample that's on here. It's a high definition. It's a 1080p camera. So then you'll know that you're getting a good quality picture with that. So there isn't going to be any of the pixelation. You know, sometimes you just look really blurry if you're large on the screen. So that's why you want to have a camera that's dedicated just to the video. So in this situation, if I did not have an external camera and I wasn't using one, I would be looking right here. I would be looking at my laptop computer, which is on the side of me. So I'm like, so if I'm looking here, that's not gonna work. You know, so that's why you want to make sure. And then the other thing is to look into the camera. So here, I want to make that personal connection with each of you. If you are physically on a stage, as speakers, we know that we're going to be looking at people in the audience. We're going to be drawing them in. We're going to be working the crowd. We're going to be doing all of those things, but we can't do that here. So I can't go over there and say, hey, Susan, how you're doing? You know, and put my hand on her shoulder or like make eye contact with Tracy. I can't do that. So the only thing that we can do is actually look into the camera. And I know that Tonya has some tips on that. Usually it's putting like mine, it's blue. So I know that my camera is on, but sometimes if you don't have that, some people put the little Post-it note with a little arrow and saying right here, you know, your audience is right here in that camera. They're right there. They're not on your screen. So the other trick that I have is I have my laptop computer, but behind that, I actually have a large flat screen TV. So you can have an HDMI cable from your computer and then take that over to your large TV. So my boyfriend, he put the large TV on what's called an articulating mount, so you can move it back and forth or tilt it. So it's specifically dedicated to being that screen. So all of you are right behind my camera. So when I'm looking or I'm looking at my slides or anything like that, it's behind my camera. So then I know that I'm at least going to be in the range of being able to look you in the eye while I'm looking at my presentation to give me cues on what to do next. So that's the information about the webcam or external camera. So I'm giving you what would be more of a starter camera. Now you can go up from there. So there are going to be different cameras. Like later on, I'll be investing in my business to actually be a camera that as I move, it'll track, but as I move back and forth, it's still going to make sure to be a clear picture. So those could be upwards of $2,000 to $3,000 for those types of cameras. So the one that I provided to you, I think it's right around $100, is an example of an external camera. So you really want to test them out to see what the picture quality is going to be for you. So now we'll go into the next areas. So there's a couple different things here. So you'll see the one on the side, the one that has all the little blue lights. So many computers now, they're not built with a lot of what's called USB inputs. So an example of a USB input would be sometimes your microphone is a USB microphone and your camera is a USB camera, and your external, if you have like a external keyboard and a mouse, that's going to be a USB. And then you're going to have like a USB, you know, if you have another device that you're going to plug in. So you have probably, say there's 5 different things that you would plug in and you only have 2 ports. That's not going to work, is it? So many of us have seen what's called like a USB extender or a USB hub. It may look similar to the one that you see here, but it does not have power. So those you do not want to use. If you are not doing video, if maybe it's just your external hard drive that you're putting into that, and it's just very minimal work that you're going to do, then it's fine to do one that does not have power. But if you want to use it for a camera, a microphone, you know, your external hard drive, all of these different things, you want to make sure that it has power. So that's the only way that it's going to be able to keep up with the video, with the audio going on, any of those things. So I would highly recommend having something like that. If you're working off a laptop computer that does not have enough ports for you to be able to have everything hooked up. So the other is about speed. So the internet. So the internet, we have to use the internet in order to do our presentations. It's just, that's the only way that we're going to be connected. So with the internet, you want, so here on the picture, it shows the Ethernet cable. So that's what it's called. So there's going to be this port on your computer, on your laptop computer, that is an Ethernet port. And that's where this cable would plug into. So the reason being, you want to have this Ethernet cable plugged into your computer to what your router is. So wherever your internet comes into your home, there's probably a box that has some ports on the back. So you want to be able to plug that in and then take that to your computer. So these Ethernet cables can be anywhere from 3 feet to 50 feet to 100 feet. So if you have your internet coming in the other room, you want to be able to have a long enough cord to get to your computer. So the reason being is because if you have Wi-Fi and you are using Wi-Fi to connect, there you have your cell phone, you have other people's interaction, even your energy. If you're more energized, you can actually wipe out your connection. So you want to make sure to have a dedicated connection to your internet. So that's going to be very important for you to have. So if you have Wi-Fi, that's a lot of times when people are frozen on the screen, is because they're doing it over Wi-Fi. So I've had experiences where I've had, right here we have a supervisor, 2 different people are running for supervisor in our area. And I let them both know in the check that they have to have a dedicated line, because that's going to be how they're going to, you know, be best on the screen. One of them listened, one of them didn't. So what do you think? The one that didn't, he completely froze when we were introducing him. He had to get out, get back in. And the other guy had extra time with the audience to be able to talk with them because he didn't do what it was that we had recommended for him to do. So that's where when you're doing your presentation, you want to have reduced the amount of technical issues that could happen. So that's very important to have that dedicated connection to your computer. So that's what I have here. The router is right behind. We actually carried it over into the office to be able to have that dedicated connection. So that's that area. Now the next one is what you hear, your audio. So some of us are more visual. So the visual picture is going to be the most important. And for me, I'm auditory. So I'm an auditory learner. So I'm auditory, then visual, and then tactile. So as we go along, you know, the different ways of learning. So with auditory, it's very important for me to be able to hear clearly. So all of us may, you know, there's different, we've gone through sound checks, you know, giving you like, can we hear you okay? Or is everything all right? So the situation happens where you want to have an external microphone. So if you're going to be doing more than this presentation, and even for this presentation, it's best to have an external microphone. There's ranges of prices for an external microphone. I actually gave you a link in this flyer to the one that I actually have. So this is the one that I use. So with this one, it actually has the ability, there's a switch in the back that you can change, where if you were actually interviewing someone, when we can actually get in front of other people. So if you were using this to interview someone, it would pick up the sound from behind the microphone as well as in front of the microphone. So if you do, this one's called a Blue Yeti. So if you have this type of microphone, you want to make sure that you put it on the right dial. So it actually looks like a little heart. So you would want to put it on that one instead of any of the others, because it's going to change the direction that the microphone is listening. So this microphone, the way that I have it set up right now, it's right in front of my face. So that's why when I speak right in front of the microphone. So if you are just using your laptop computer, that's why you can sound very distant, because depending on where, so if I just use my laptop computer microphone for a meeting, if I sit too far back, the people say they can't hear me. So I have to lean up into my laptop for them to be able to hear me okay. So every computer is different. So that's why you would want to check with someone else if they could be on the other side. You know, Zoom is free, you know, for a free account, they could be on the other side. You could test some things out. You can change your microphone. So sometimes you're like, I plugged it in, why is it not working? So what you would do is in your screen, you'll be able to see where there's a microphone, and then there's also your camera. So where the microphone is, there's like a triangle kind of going in this direction. So when you click on that, you're going to be able to see all the different microphones or speakers that are available to you to be able to choose. So it may just be on the wrong one. So then that would be the first place to look to see if you've newly kind of put something in, or even if it's not working for some reason. Technology does crazy things. So going over and checking that. So that would be where you want to do that. So you want to make sure, because with laptop computers, there's a lot of feedback. So there could be the drives spinning. It'll sound like there's a fan running. There could be just any type of background noise and interference. So that's why you want to do that. And then you want to be mindful that if you do have a microphone, I had a speaker, I think we were doing a test with someone where they kept hitting the desk when they were speaking for emphasis. Like they were just kind of, you know, they weren't doing it hard. They were just kind of like barely tapping the desk. But because they were using the microphone, it really picked it up. So that's why you see a lot. I've seen some of the other ladies that have them on the mounts. So you can have it on a side mount if you would want to have that. So it's really up to you depending on how you use your equipment. So that would be the other area. So that's your audio. So the other is your lighting. So we've recently moved into a new place. So I have a lot from the windows that I have coming through here. So it's like, there's multiple things that I'm figuring out. So lighting is very important. I gave you an example of the one that I have, and it is one of those ring lights. And it does, as you can see, there's a clear area of your ring light. And there's also some that have like it's like a little, like orange. It kind of looks a little orange. So you'll want to test both and look at yourself on the camera, because sometimes if it's the white, you might look too flushed out, like it'll be too washed out looking. So if you're using the white one, so then if you change it to the other orange one, it's not that it's going to turn you orange, it's just going to give you a little bit of color. So that's why there are those different variations. And with this particular one, it has a dial, so then you can turn up or turn down the amount of light that's coming in, because some ring lights, it's just one setting and maybe one or two settings and that's it. So this one that I was letting you know about, it has a dial. So it goes very, very low, and then it goes all the way up to boom, you know, you're like on stage, you know, of that brightness. So you want to be sure that you test your lighting. And the other thing is, if you use, like I have off to the side, a regular lamp that's in this direction. So what you want to do is when you're choosing your bulbs, that if you're going to use like an upward light or any kind of light around you, want to use as natural a light as possible. So the bulbs are called reveal bulbs that are full spectrum. So they're going to give you the largest color range possible, as if you're standing outside in the sun. So you don't want to have mixtures of bulb types. So you want to be really mindful of which ones that you have in the lights around you. So that's going to be very important. So what I can do before I go to the next area, I can see if there's any questions. So does anybody have any questions about what I just covered? So Susan, yeah. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Susan.
Okay, so on the microphone, when I plug in a microphone, this is just, it goes into my headphone jack, and I only have one, one jack. And so then I can't hear you. So, and I tried looking at settings. Do I have to get like a USB speaker in order to?
So in your situation, it's not really meant, so the device that you have, since it's going into that jack, it's not really meant for presentations. It's not really meant for that, because if you have something that goes into that jack, you still want to be able to hear. So it's better to use a headset. Like, you usually those white ones that come with phones or something like that, that have a microphone on it and it has the headphones.
I see, so it's got both.
Plug that in. So if you have an extra one like that, the best way, if you use something that's not a USB, then you would use a microphone that plugs into an external like device, like a mixer or some sound mixer.
I have something like that I can test.
So then you'd have to figure out, how do I get it from there to my computer? And then does it have software for that to be able to run? So the easiest is to have a USB mic, or if you have an external mixer, and then do it that way. Yeah.
Okay. So we decided my sound was pretty good just like this. So
yeah. So yeah, because if your environment is one that is acoustically very good, then it's probably fine. So that's where you have to be mindful of the environment that you're in, because if I moved this and I moved something else, my acoustics would sound completely different. So that's why you want to make sure to test things out.
Great.
Hey, Athena.
Uh-huh.
I have this right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a USB hub, and it has these settings on one side, these settings on the other side, and then on this side it has the ear jack thing, plus even more settings for all the different phones.
So does that have its own power?
You plug it into, I plug it into the Mac.
Okay, so you would want, actually, that will do all of those things, but it won't be doing them as effectively. It should have its own power.
Okay.
So if it's something similar, but then it has its own power, it's going to be much better, because you'll have some delay. Because what will happen is if you plug all those things in and you're starting to use it, it's going to say, which one do I want to put some power to and do the work for? And if it has power, it's just going to say everything's 100%. It's not, I'm not going to decide which one's more important.
Okay.
So Athena, to go back to what you were saying about plugging into your Wi-Fi router, you want us to do that with our computer. Just like should we be trying that today with y'all now?
That would be ideal. If you had an Ethernet cable and you could hook directly into your router, you would want to do that. And if on your computer, there's usually, like wherever you go to figure out if there's Wi-Fi available. So on your computer, there's either a little TV with a little plug or something like that on the lower right. You want to click on there. And if you do plug in your Ethernet cable, you want to go in and turn off your Wi-Fi, because you don't want those to conflict. So you want to turn off your Wi-Fi and make sure that it's just the Ethernet cable that you're using. So when you do plug into your Ethernet cable, like you're doing, Erica, you want to make sure that's going to be the place that you're going to be presenting. So if you're connected, it's not just a matter of being connected. It's, is this where I'm going to be presenting? So then if it's not, and you're going to be like in the other room, then you're going to have something that's much longer to be able to make that connection. So while Erica's doing that, is anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
I don't think I have the right cables for that, so that's something to get.
Mm-hmm. So when I'll put up inside of the chat after I'm finished, I'm going to put up the information with a direct link to be able to download these items that I showed on the screen. So then you'll be able to just click on those and go right to them. So that'll be there for you. So let's see.
I think I do have this thing that is a connection from my printer to my computer, and that might have the connection. So I can just experiment with this.
Probably not.
No? Okay.
It'll be different.
I appreciate the help.
Yeah, it'll be different. So I think we started a little bit later. So how much more time, Tonya?
See, I'm trying to see. Because
I can
you can start taking questions. You can start taking Q&A now.
Okay.
One more thing is, so we're still working out my sound with my movement stuff. Like my videographer, we strategized that maybe I don't need a mic, but I'm very clear I will come close to my mic if I have it set up. Like I'll be using that mic to get close to.
So in your particular situation, it's like if I were like this a lot, that's going to throw people off. That's going to be like, there is just way too much movement going on because you're going to be large on the screen. So if I'm large on the screen like this, and I'm moving around, or I'm trying to get close to something, it can be very distracting.
Yeah, so my workaround with that is I'm going to plug in my mic and have it out as far as possible. So while I'm on the floor, when I do that, I can talk to that as opposed to coming up to here. So it will be less weird.
Yeah, and you'll want to, they make those lapel mics. Like I have one that has a 10 foot. From the device to me. So it gives me enough room to be able to move around, or if the camera person is moving around, that they can do that. So that's very
okay. We'll work on that some more, Erica, when we do your sound check. Is there anybody else with questions?
I just have questions on the on this timer that you recommended. It's a little confusing how to actually set it. I've got it open and it says use numbers to set time, but when I press on it,
you would just kind of brush it to make it go up and down.
Thank you. That's exactly what I needed.
Yeah. And then you'll just touch it and it'll start, and then you touch it again, and then, or you long press, it'll give you the directions. So yeah, those are very large. Yeah. So Jackie, if you hold it up to the screen, it'll show everyone like how big it is.
Okay. Can everybody see that?
So it takes up the whole screen. So you can have this on your computer. You could have it on your iPad or your tablet. You could have it on your phone. So any of those types of devices, you can have it on there. So that would be available.
Don't feel bad, Jackie. I was doing the same thing. I'm just pressing the numbers, trying to get them to change, and it wouldn't change. And I'm like, Athina, this is not working.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
And I think just earlier, Tonya mentioned that I would say something, so I'll just say something briefly. It's more of my Zoom like 202 kind of class, but when you're communicating with your team, that was one of the things that we were talking about earlier, is having Messenger be that, because on Zoom, yes, we can communicate privately for different things, but then as the host, when we go and we print out the transcript, everything's there.
Nothing on Zoom chat is private.
Yeah.
Nothing. Everything is there.
Yeah.
It says you can communicate with this person privately, but when we share the chat, everything is there.
Yeah.
So don't believe that.
Yeah. So
At our
especially
last event, we had some ladies talking, sharing some real personal things. And at that point, we had wanted to share the chat, but I couldn't because some ladies are being very vulnerable and brave to talk about some of these things that had happened to them. And I just couldn't see putting that out there in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we request that you have Messenger on, so we can communicate to you. That's the easiest. In some of the coordinated events that I do, I either use WhatsApp if I have international people that I'm communicating with, because it's something that they could use and there's not a huge cost involved, more international. So that would be WhatsApp. And then also I use another program called Band, is another one that I've used too for coordination. Jackie, you had a question?
If you're giving somebody your WhatsApp, is that just your phone number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can set up a business WhatsApp as well. So for your business, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I use WhatsApp. It's extremely encrypted, secure method. It's a lot better than Messenger. That's why people use it more internationally. We're the only country right now that really uses Messenger.
Yeah.
Nobody else really uses it the way we do.
Yeah, so any of my international events, it's always WhatsApp, and you can easily create different groups like you can in Messenger and be able to send information out. So so it's a good one to use. And I use that because I had friends in India, and the work that I did in nonprofit was in India. So I knew that they used it all the time, and that was where I was introduced many years ago. So before it got bought out by Facebook. So yeah. So any other questions at this point? I think I've given you enough technical information. So Jackie,
does everybody know how to raise your hand?
So
everybody raise your hand. Let me see you raise your hand on the screen.
So Erica's got it. Susan's got it. Jackie's got it. So you would go to participants, you could click on participants, and then you'll see in the bottom where it says that you can raise your hand.
Good.
So that's really good, because what happens is when we do the portion where if you're speaking for 45 minutes, then you're allowed that breakout room. So then what's going to happen is you're going to ask people to do exactly what we just did right now. And then on my screen, it brings those people to the top, so then I can easily put them into the breakout room with you. So if they don't do that, then I have to look through the list of 100 people to find that person. So if you give them the guidance to do that, that is going to be extremely helpful.
And we're gonna make sure that everybody knows how to do it within that first 15 minutes of them coming online. So don't worry about you don't have to teach it. We're gonna go over it.
Just remind them. Hey, go ahead.
Just remind them, you know, and we'll be monitoring the chat. So if you want to tell them to if you decide to use the Q&A model, then they can put their questions in the chat, and as well as you can call on them, okay? And we'll read the questions that come in the chat.
Yeah. So I just in the chat area, well, I think I send it to one person. Let me see. I'm going to put that in the chat right now, is my information with a link to the flyer, to the handout. So in the chat, I just put in there my information, and then also at the very bottom is the handout. So you can just click on there, and then the document is highly clickable. So all of the pictures that are on there, you can just click on it and it'll take you right to that item. Or if you click on my picture, it'll send you to my, page with information about me. So yeah, so I think I've got it all there, Tonya, or as much as we can in the time frame we've got.
All right, thank you guys. Can we give Athina a hand?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Gee.
That's a crash course.
That's very
Thank you, Athena.
Yep.
And next we're going to have Miss Libby Jansen. I don't know why I keep wanting to call you Jason.
Jason, just think of it.
It is Jason.
It is. It's I'm the girl
Okay.
boy's name. Yes. So it's Jason.
Okay, all right. I like it, Jason.
Which is funny.
Miss
My
Libby
husband's name
Jason.
is William, so it kind of people mess up and they call him Jason William, and it's William Jason. I mean, it's a mess, but it's all right.
Hey, at least he wound up with 2 boy names. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
His name could have been Sue Jason.
There you go.
All right. And Libby's going to talk to us about coloring and style to put your best foot forward doing a virtual event, because like I said earlier, one of the 3 things we were looking at is appearance.
Yeah.
And our appearance, what people see now, is different than our complete outfit that we would wear on stage, and it does make a difference.
It definitely makes a difference. And thank you very much. And thank you. I'm very glad to be here because, I mean, you guys are all just like amazing people. And I definitely will kind of dovetail off on a little bit of what Athena had talked about, because that was a little bit of mine too. So we're going to put them together. If I can share my screen, I will go ahead and do that. And go here, and can y'all see that all right?
Yes, it looks great.
So 7 keys to better Zoom. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the 7 different key ideas, and then at the end I'm going to actually take some clothing and show you a few different things so you can see that for yourself, and then we'll have some Q&A. Sound good?
Awesome.
All righty. Okay, so we all are going to either be speaking virtually for a while, and we're most often are going to be using Zoom. Some people may be using BeLive or whatever, but I want to go over a few things because, you know, we're concentrating on what is our message, how are we sharing our message, how can we get that out there, and if we can get a lot of these extra things taken care of, it's going to increase your confidence. You're going to feel so much better up there. You're going to feel so much more secure. Those of you that are absolutely seasoned speakers, this is probably second nature for you. If you're a newbie, it's like one less thing to have to deal with. So I'm going to go over not only when you're speaking virtually to a large group, like we are going to be doing for Tonya's event, but also when you are in a group of maybe there's only 5 or 10 people, or you're in a networking group, or you're doing anything like that. So I want to go over a few keys here. First of all is going to be your camera position. Now, if you're on a desktop, that's awesome. But so often people are either on their iPads or they're on a laptop. And this position that this woman is in, this is not a good position to be in your camera, because what are people going to see? They're going to see your neck, which I don't know about you, but that's probably not one of my favorite features. You know, we're going to be looking down, which means that then your skin sags. And there again, I'd like it to be more like that. I've seen ceiling fans. I've seen all kinds of strange things. So the key is you really want to make sure that the camera is more eye level. So here she has a desktop, which is perfect because that is at eye level for her. But say you're working on a laptop. A good thing you can do is if you have a cake stand, try putting it on a cake stand. That will elevate it a little bit. Shoe boxes work well. A box, make sure it's really solid though, because you don't want it to go wonky like that. You want to really be able to have people see you, and visually you're talking to one person. Really, you are talking to one person, and you want to be able to kind of look them in the eye that way. Now look at them over here. All right. Your background. background is so important. I know that Athena went over having green screens and having the backdrop and all that, and that is awesome. One person in the chat, I think, said, well, you know, I don't have that capability. There are ways that you can create backgrounds for yourself that are going to be much more pleasing. Here's the thing. If there's a lot of clutter in the background, it's distracting from your message. It's distracting from you. And people don't want to see your dirty laundry, you know, piles and piles of papers everywhere, dishes in the kitchen sink. I mean, honestly, I've seen some crazy things, you know, all your kids' toys and the Legos in the background. Now, we are working from home. I get that. But there are things that you can do that will create a better image. So these are green screens that you can do. These are out of like, I think you can do pixels or something like that, and you can download a type of an image to display on your computer. I will tell you that oftentimes, if you take a photograph of a backdrop that you like, you can go to a model home, you can go to one of those Regis office places and take an actual photograph and upload that as your green screen background. That will actually have much better pixelization than you taking an image off of, you know, Shutterstock or whatever. So play around with that. You want something that is a professional environment, but not too terribly distracting. This may be a little bit busy, but it gives you the idea. If you want, you can get something just plain. You would position yourself so you are more where the frame, the picture frame is, but it's something simple, doesn't detract. You could go ahead and use that. Now, if you find, look, I don't have a green screen, I can't use things like that, then you're going to have to kind of create that yourself with either a bookshelf behind you with maybe a small print, a little plant, a shelf, something other than just a blank wall. You don't want a blank wall, but you want something that is appealing and nice to look at, not detracting and not overly like, oh, what is that thing they have in the back? It also, I think, needs to go with your theme, with how are you, your brand. I have my studio image because I'm in clothing. So that is what I have. You may have things that appeal to your particular type of business. I had a doctor client, and she had a lot of plaques on the wall next to her bookshelf, and that kind of went with her. The other thing is the lighting, and Athena had talked about lighting, and that is such a huge thing, and I'll go over a couple ideas here in the Q&A, but often people are trying to look out of a beautiful window because they want to see the great view and all that, which is great, but then they themselves are in shadows and it's dark and people can't really see you. So you want to make sure that you do really pay attention to where that lighting is. It may mean using a ring light. It may mean using two. You may have to move a few lamps around. You might have to turn on the overhead light. You may have to position the computer in a completely different area. But people need to see you and they want to see your face, okay? The other is in this image, although I wouldn't necessarily have a picture of her sink in the background, but you can see how all the windows and the lighting, I mean, it is that natural light that is just flooding her. And that is great, even though she is looking down because that's how this particular image is. But I want you to pay close attention to how the lighting is. So this may be something where you literally walk around the house with your laptop and say, okay, where is this going to be a good light? One way that you can do this is you can take your phone on selfie, you know, turn it, we all know how to do selfies, and walk around with the camera lighting so that you can see based on the time of day what is going to be a good area for good lighting for you. So kind of play around with that, because people want to be able to see your face. Okay, makeup. So you have to think in mind that Zoom or any kind of video, anything like that, or a picture, a photograph, everything is two-dimensional. So in a three-dimensional world where we're meeting people, we're seeing them one-on-one, we may have a makeup look it's natural, it's pleasing, it's enhancing. At the same time, when you are doing a Zoom or even a speaker event where you're on the stage and you're a lot further back, you have to kick up the makeup. You have to kick it up a notch. And especially, believe it or not, your eyebrows. We've seen a lot of eyebrows that they just kind of drift off. And the older I get, the less eyebrows I have. So the thing that you want to make sure is that you really pronounce those. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to learn to draw them on, but you want to keep the trails and darken them and give that more definition. Here's why. Our eyebrows frame our face, and it shows people expressions. That's one way that we communicate. When we're one-on-one with somebody, the little nuances that we would do when we're with them, showing that we're engaged and interested, sometimes that kind of gets lost in Zoom. And so you want to make sure that your brows are framing your face. If you're wearing glasses, you want to make sure you're wearing mascara and you're wearing liners so that people can see them. Maybe that's not what you normally wear. Maybe you're not all that comfortable, but it's going to make a difference, because once you have the lighting on you, you don't want to just be a big blank and have it wash out. The other thing you want to take a look at is your lips. It's going to be a little bit more intensity in the color. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to look like Tammy Faye Baker. You're not going to look like a clown. You just want to have more intensity in the color so your mouth shows up. So, so take a look at some of those, play around with some of those, and you can go into your Zoom, go into settings, go into virtual background, and play with some of those looks and see how you look. And that's a way for you to kind of gauge that a little bit for yourself. Comfort or casual. We all want to be comfortable. I totally want to be comfortable. That is, that's a premium thing. No, I don't want to be wearing pajamas, but I do want to be comfortable. Sometimes we'll find that we are just too casual. It almost goes from casual to careless. And you get a little bit too comfortable in your clothes to the point that then you really don't put forth a professional image. So you really want to make sure, even if it's something that you have a nice neckline, because people are looking at you from here up. So it could be a nice neckline, nice jewelry. Tonya has a beautiful necklace on. Something that's going to be intriguing, something that's going to flatter you, either color tone or in the color of your outfit, the necklines that you wear, something that's going to be appealing in your clothing so that you can always throw a jacket on, throw a sweater on, something like that. So it does have a little bit more of a professional image than just a t-shirt. So I want to talk to you a little bit about color. This particular woman, love her hair color. Her computer is up at the right angle for her. Her glasses look great. Her outfit actually looks great. The thing I would stress here is her background is all white. And the top from her chest up, that's what people are going to see, is a really light cream color. Now, it's possible that that could blend in a little too much for her. You don't want it so stark that you're like, whoa, okay, you're wearing this fuchsia blouse, but you want to make sure that you don't blend in with the background. Now, the good thing for her is she has a lot of contrast in her hair, so that helps. But keep in mind, if you are very fair, You're very blonde. You're very, not a lot of color contrast. Really be careful of the backdrop that you have to make sure that you stand out and you are flattering. In this particular image, the background's great because it's a nice background. It's not, you know, it doesn't confuse anything else. It's not distracting. And her hair looks beautiful, but I'm not sure if I would use that particular background with her hair color. I may want to use something a little bit different, or at least have some type of the background that has a little bit more interest there for her. Those would be my suggestions for that. The one thing she does have a jacket on, and she has a nice blouse. She can always pop that jacket off or pop it on as she's talking to people. Okay, jewelry. So jewelry is a way that we express ourselves. And I mean, I love jewelry, and I think is it Tonya or Terry that has this great sparkly jewelry. So I'm all about the sparkle, I'm all about the bling. But you also want to make sure that if you have a bracelet on or have earrings on, that you don't see this flutter of sparkle all over, or your eyes are just going to go bananas. Now, the woman on the left, I understand this is a cultural thing. I'm using this as a demonstration. Beautiful woman, but you are so focused on her jewelry, you're not hearing her message. Now, if her subject matter is about her culture and things they're doing, that'll probably work. The image on the right, there again, it can cause a lot of distraction with your microphone. As she's moving, it's going to cause distraction. If there's earrings or there's bracelets, especially whether you're using a handheld mic or a lavalier or anything, if you're hearing a lot of the little rushly things or jingle jangle or anything like that, it's going to cause distraction. It's going to be way more amplified than you thought. And it's going to make it difficult for people to hear your message. So those are things you really want to pay attention to. So if you're wearing a necklace that is going to be flattering for your skin type and your neckline, make sure it's flat and it doesn't make a whole lot of noise. Okay, so the jewelry she has here, it's simple, it's nice. She can see what time it is. You know, it's professional and it's nice and it works for this particular type of person. So just keep it simple whenever possible. When in doubt, keep it simple. The key to remember here is that you're beautiful and you want to express yourself in the best way that you can. You want to make sure that people hear your message because you have a message and you want them to be able to hear that without any distraction, any distortion. They want to see you, they want to hear you, they want to feel you, and you're you, and you are beautiful as you are. So I'm going to, I'm Libby Jason, I'm your style expert, and I am going to stop sharing my screen for a couple of minutes here and show you a couple of pattern ideas, and then I'll take some questions, all right? So. Okie dokie. Any questions while I get this set up? Okay. All right. So most of the time, people are wanting to wear, like, well, do I always have to wear solids? No, you don't always have to wear solids. You can wear a pattern, but it depends on the pattern that you're wearing. So say I was to wear something like that. Okay, that's not going to work because there's too much visual lines going, there's too much things going on. In person, it may work fine for you, but on a Zoom or a virtual, or even if you're doing a video, maybe you're doing a promotional video or a speaker reel or something like that, you want to be careful you're not wearing houndstooth checks or anything like that. Here's another one, and that it would be leopard. Now, there is soft leopard, yellow leopard, brown leopard, gray leopard. There's all different types of tones. Sometimes You can get away with that if it's in small doses and you have the color tones that will work with that. But there again, play around with it because you don't want things like all buzzing around here. Okay, a pattern like this is a pattern, but it's enough of a muted pattern that it almost kind of looks like a solid, but has a little bit of interest to it. So take a look at some things that maybe do have pattern. Maybe it's a floral print, but they're tiny little prints, or they're tiny little things, so that from a distance, it almost kind of blends in nicely. This one, that you could wear that speaking, depending on that personality. I would keep your jewelry very simple if that's what you're doing, but it's a pattern, but it's not an overwhelming pattern. So we were talking about green screens, and I think I told you, I don't remember, but you are looking at an image of my green screen, which is an image of my studio, but I'm not in my studio, I'm in my office. But I want to tell you why you would not want to wear green. Okay. This is a green top. Now, if I put this on, I'm going to look like a bobblehead. See? It just blends right in. So you don't want to do that.
Wow.
So
wow. You look like the Invisible Man.
It does. It's like I could just be hands. Okay.
What your house looks like with that. Like, could you just take that off for a second so you can see the difference?
What's
your
that?
Virtual background versus your non-virtual background. Wow.
Yeah. See?
Wow.
And it's a really great top. But so keep in mind, maybe you have this great jacket or a beautiful sweater or a top. If it's got any little lines in it that are green, don't wear them because you will look really weird. Same thing with any jewelry. Be careful of the green because you will just fade off somewhere. Okay, so that's a clothing thing.
Right, Libby? You have an actual green screen, correct, behind you?
I do have a green screen because this is an image of my studio. Yeah. Gotcha. I'll show you. See? You can see how it is there. Otherwise, my, yeah, there goes there. Okay, so the last thing I can tell you is okay, so I do have this ring light. So I'm going to show you a couple things because Athina was talking about different color tones. So I'm going to play with this a little bit so you can see. I'm a very visual person if you haven't figured that out. So I like to show people rather than tell people. All right, let's see. So we're going to do, this is more of a softer, like a little bit more of an amber light. This is a little bit more fluorescent. Or that's more fluorescent. So you can see the different tones. Can you see that? How things show up different? And then you can bump it up if you want it to go a whole lot higher. This one has 3 different levels depending on what you want. So, you see? So play with those, and that's if I don't have it on at all. So, so keep an eye on those, and I've got another just 3 minutes for any questions that you might have.
Susan?
So you have a very clear definition around you. You say green screen, are you using a virtual background on Zoom?
What I did, now Zoom doesn't have the best resolution in that green screens are great for Zoom. Green screens are probably not the best if you're just taking your phone and you're just going to do a little video of yourself and you're going to be talking and you're going to put it on Facebook and you're going to talk about Tonya's event, and you're going to, then don't use your green screen, just use real life, okay? Because Zoom, the green screen works okay for Zoom only. But what I did is I went to my studio, I took a photograph of my studio, And then I came and into Zoom where it says virtual background, you can upload your own images.
Right. So usually the line around the person is a little wavy.
Right.
But in your case, it stays super clear.
Okay,
it's not wavy. Yeah, it's not wavy because it's a
real photograph.
It's a real photograph and it's a green screen.
Right.
Mine's is wavy because it's virtual. There's no green screen.
Right. And even with the green screen, sometimes you will still get a little bit of that, but a real photograph, as opposed to I'm going to download a great looking background from Pixels
or from Canva.
You're going to get a better resolution. So that's why I said, go to a Regis, go to a model home, go to your friend's house, go to wherever, take a lot of photographs, upload them. I think you can upload 5 or 6 of them and just kind of play with them and see how it works. You may find that on the edges, I would go with edges that are a little darker, just because in case you're moving the screen around a little bit and it overlaps a little bit, that you don't have that line of demarcation that's so obvious. I mean, it's a lighting issue and you kind of just do the best you can. And then when you are going to be speaking at Tonya's event, keep in mind you're only going to be about that big. But if you're using a slide presentation, but if you're, speaker view, then ta-da! And that's what I have for you today.
Any more questions? Okay, I have a comment about raising the, how many of you sit down when you speak on Zoom?
I don't, I stand up.
And there's a reason for that, standing up. It's it projects you, it pushes the girls up, and it changes your whole tone. I can't stand up because I have back problems, but I do sit on the edge of my seat. And now I found, Athena found me this neat little thing that will let me raise my laptop up. It actually holds the laptop so that you're seeing this. Because I don't know if you've ever taken a selfie. We always say above, take the selfie from up here and angle the camera down. Don't take it from right here in front of you. The reason is because when we look down, look what happens to our chins.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You get necks and chins.
Yeah, you get extras, even if you, and it looks even worse if you have extra anyway.
So you're standing?
Huh?
No, I'm not.
Libby? No, I'm not standing, but when I do my presentation, I will be standing. I need to stand when I do that. But for this, I was sitting down. But normally I do stand.
I think Athena has a picture of the Vivo stand.
Yeah, I can share it.
That.
You want me to share it?
Yeah.
Because whenever I speak, so like I was talking about the TV behind, so then behind my camera, and then I actually have a table that's probably up to a little bit higher than my waist. So that's where the table is. And I did have my laptop on the table, but I was able to find this, which I'm going to share with you here. So this is a laptop stand. So can everybody see that on the screen? So this is completely adjustable. So you can move that. So to give you an idea of what it looks like. So this is an example of what it looks like. So the laptop is off of your table. So that actually gives me enough room to have my keyboard underneath, or the documents that I'm working on, or the presentation that I have, kind of my things lined up. Here's a couple of other pictures. That's more of what it looks like, the way that I have it set up. But these, so it's Vivo, it's vivo-us.com.
And I got mine on Amazon, and right now it's taking them 2 days to deliver it.
Mhm.
And I got it for $49. And I don't know, a lot of us, when we started this Zoom thing, we didn't think we were going to be turning our homes into studios. I know I did not think that. So now I've got, even though I'm in Seattle, my son has mounted the 45-inch TV screen on the wall. So now I have my iPad on one of those lifts, and I'll have my laptop on the other lift. And then I have all my table space to work with. A year ago, you couldn't have told me that I would be doing this. That I became, you know, and the ring light on the stand, and you know, we were just doing Facebook Lives. All we needed was a little clip-on light. But things have changed, and I really, really want to thank you guys for embracing a lot of the new things, because you just don't know how many entrepreneurs or women business owners who have chosen not to. And I'm sure you guys know some of these people that are still not willing to get on Facebook. You know, they want to know what's going on and get upset when they don't know, but I don't do that Facebook thing.
They're going to be left
So, yeah. So, you know, I think you guys should give yourselves a pat on the back for really embracing this and moving forward with your, in dealing with the situation the way it is now. Because that's really something to be proud of. I want to end today by going through and having each one of us share our takeaway. Each one of us share a takeaway. All right, Susan T, then Susan S.
Takeaway, I appreciate the tips, both on Zoom that Athena gave, and then Libby's as well.
Okay, Susan S.
Got a lot of value from all the presentations, and I think my biggest takeaway is to really think things through and be prepared.
Okay. Libby, and then Libby, and then Gail.
I love the presentations. I especially liked Caterina. She was great. I really liked what she said, asking some questions before speaking events. I usually would ask, like, you know, what does the background look like, so I don't blend in. But so I really like that. In fact, some of the things that she talked about, I will be revising a few things. So I did send you some updates, Tonya. So like, ignore them.
Well, that's why we did this 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to see some things, you're going to want to tweak some things, you're going to want to change some things, and you will all be getting your performance times probably tomorrow or Monday at the latest. And you have time to do this. That's why it's so important that you were here today, because we're giving you these things and you're going, oh, maybe, hey, I tried, you know. So I wanted to give you enough time to do that, and that's why I make it part of your package.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will be modifying a few things based on what she said, so I'm very appreciative of that. And I really think that this was very valuable. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Gail?
So I learned a lot from everyone, but I think I'm just going to piggyback on Libby. I really like Caterina's advice of how to present, what to present, what to say, how to say it. But I learned a lot also about the technical part of Zoom, which I appreciate so much, just coming on board with this new business. So I appreciate it, all of the speakers today.
Okay, Erica and then Tracy T.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. It feels like we can get ready and then we can relax. To get ready is so I really appreciate that we can get the recording of this to watch all those little things that Caterina was saying. Like, she talks really quickly and I barely got a little bit of that, you know. It's just like, you know, I really appreciate getting to ask questions. I used to be the person that does never speak never, and now, you know, it's just like I have questions that probably people also might have had questions about. So I feel my courage to be with you all and speak. So thank you. So excited.
Susan S., did we come to you?
Yes, we did.
Okay, Karen and then Tracy T.
Yes, so everything was really great. I appreciate so much, Tonya, that you put this together for us. It makes me feel comfortable and taken care of, and that so many of the background details that I wasn't thinking about, but I've done my own live events, and then so knowing that you're going to take care of that, like the chat, it's just really comforting and takes the pressure off. Like, how am I going to do that while I'm presenting? So thank you.
Exactly, and that's the whole purpose, is to create an environment where we can ask questions and help each other out, because it is a lot. And I am a detail person. I do love taking care of the details. So, because my idea is to make you shine from the front of the room. But just because I'm in the back of the room doing all of the other stuff doesn't mean I don't shine either. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to run the world from the front of the room.
Yeah.
You can also run it from the back or wherever you choose, because we're women and we can do that. We can multitask.
Thank you,
Okay,
Tonya.
Tracy.
Well, I learned a lot today from the little tips, such as the pixels and taking our own pictures and then setting that as a virtual background. Such as, I always thought I had to be in the same room as where my router is. And although I'm not there right now, I know what to do so I could be in any room in my house. And I love I loved how the women helped each other by asking questions and the care that was provided today. So Tonya, Athina, everybody, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Again, please feel free to reach out if you need anything.